Station at invisiblefence.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Today's forecast is a chiller.
Living room turning into an icebox? We'll be right there. And 1 hour heating and air conditioning? We're
always on time.
Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourheatandair.com. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
The increasing clouds heading into the afternoon hours. Today's high 45. We remain cloudy for the evening hours. Showers likely after midnight with a low down to 40. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
33 and partly cloudy downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 13th. It is 6 minutes after 9. His name is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and we start off talking about the governor's race. Suzanne Crouch threw her hat into the ring for governor for 2024. So we've got U.S. Senator Mike Braun and Fort Wayne businessman Eric Doden in the race for the Republican nomination.
So they told me, well, you got to vote Republican and we'll get them in the primary. And so as I review now my choices for governor, I've got one guy in Braun who voted for all the Holcomb tax increases when he was a member of the General Assembly before he bought a U.S. Senate seat. I've got Silent Suzanne. By the way, I came up with that one in about 30 minutes after she declared. So that is our name for her going forward is Silent Suzanne. And we'll get to that in just a second. And you've got Silent Suzanne, who was completely silent for 6 years through the tax increases, the mask mandate, the closing of businesses, the putting 1 million people out of work, the Malik Muhammad VIP meet and greet. And now that she's decided to run for governor, has, just like the Grinch, found the strength of 10 conservatives plus 2 and is going to fight for families and values and low taxes. And so we got her. And then we got this Doden guy who his big rollout is that teachers are better than everyone and shouldn't have to pay taxes. So for all you people who told me last month, well, you gotta vote for the Republican. We'll get them in the primary. These are my choices. There's nothing about any of these people that you would say is reliably conservative or is about liberty and freedom. What am I supposed to do with this, Casey?
I guess we got to let it play out and see what they say over the next year, Rob, and see if they can sway you.
Look,
change your mind.
Here's the thing about Suzanne Crouch. I've said this many times. She's a very nice person, but now she's running for governor. And when you are running for governor, she absolutely has to explain, because everything I've heard so far has just been the generic talking points, right? She absolutely has to explain, not to me, right? I mean, newsflash, I'm not voting for any of these people. I'll probably have to vote for one of them in a primary, but I'm not voting for any of these people in a general election. So you don't owe it to me, but you owe it to the 7 million people of the state, and you certainly are going to have to owe it to Republican primary voters if you're Suzanne Crouch, to explain why for 6 years, I mean, it was like almost like every year there was a new bottle of fun with this administration in which they completely screwed the taxpayers of the state. And you not only said absolutely nothing, she's been a cheerleader. Like the tax increases, nothing. The second round of tax increases, which came Holcomb's second year, which was the war on truckers, where he had $1 billion in tolling taxes, and she's been out singing that song for 5 years now through this rural broadband bullcrap that was paid for with massive tax increases. She said absolutely nothing as Holcomb shut the state down. She said absolutely nothing as 1 million people were put out of work. She said absolutely nothing as Holcomb tried to put you in jail for not wearing a mask. And in fact, she was so unoffended by it, she ran with him again. How there is a certain type of special to not only say nothing but be a cheerleader for that, and then come out and have the audacity to look the state in the face and go, I'm a conservative. I'm for liberty and freedom. I'm for Hoosier values. I'm for faith. No, you're not for faith. Because you know what Eric Holcomb did? He shut the churches down. Eric Holcomb shut the churches down, and you did nothing. So you don't get to go, well, I'm for faith. No, you're not. If you were for faith, if you were for families, if you were for freedom, if you were for liberty, you would have walked away from that administration.
So you think that her best play right now is to distance herself from the Holcomb administration?
Oh, she has to, but I don't know how you do that with the straight face. But I guess look, we live in a world where John Fetterman is a U.S. senator. We live in a world where the Democrats, where Raphael Warnock is a U.S. senator, right? We live in a world where Diego Morales is the Secretary of State. We live in a world where Todd Young was overwhelmingly reelected. So maybe her calculation is, we clearly have seen it. The truth doesn't matter. It's whatever lie you tell in the moment is all that matters. So maybe that's what she's going to go with. Maybe she's going to act like Malik Muhammad and the mask mandate and the tax increases and the shutting down society. It never happened.
Well, apparently she's not going to go that way because she said, I'm very proud of the Eric Holcomb administration and the work we've done.
Then we're done here. Can you say that again? That was her quote, right?
This is her quote.
And that was that in the Indiana Capitol Chronicle?
It was.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the Governor Eric Holcomb administration and the work we've done.
We're done here. She is saying, I am Holcomb 2.0. If you like Eric Holcomb, her words, she's very proud of that. Suzanne Crouch is very proud of the mask mandate. She's very proud of the fact that the governor tried to put you in jail for not wearing a mask. She's very proud of the massive tax increases that continue to harm you every single day, including the largest tax increase in state history. She's very proud of that. She's very proud that over 1 million people were put out of work. She's very proud that the churches were shut down. She's proud of all of it. Her words.
She's also very proud of the broadband work that you mentioned because she did say rural Indiana is our next great economic frontier.
And she didn't say how was it paid for, did she?
No.
Not a word. And she never says how it's paid for, which was a massive tax increase on truckers, which, newsflash, truckers don't just eat that. It gets passed on to you in the price of things you buy. The Republican Party, all of these people we're laying out right here, whether it is Suzanne, whether it is Mike Braun, whether it is Eric Doden, are focused on growing the government and putting special interest ahead of you. So for all of you people who said, well, you just got to get them in a primary. Get what? All three of these people will be a continuation of what we have seen before. Some more of a continuation than others, granted. Like I think Mike Braun, based on his record in the U.S. Senate, has a greater leg to stand on than, say, Suzanne Crouch does. But Mike Braun was stupid enough to vote for the largest tax increase in Indiana history that goes up every single year. It was among more than 40 tax increases Holcomb passed in his first year, and Braun went right along with every single one of them.
Well, we've been waiting for Mike Braun to officially announce that he is running for governor, and he did it yesterday afternoon at a steakhouse.
Nothing says I'm a common man.
And throughout his tenure, he closely aligned himself with Donald Trump, consistently approving his agenda. Now, if Braun were to win, he would be one of Indiana's oldest governors. He'd be 68 years old.
Wow. That is, he's a pretty youthful looking guy.
The average age of our governor is around 50.
But the reality is, it's the two front runners. We're going to get Doden in just a second because his big rollout is beyond stupid. But the two front runners are career politicians, right? I mean, look at the carry here. Suzanne Crouch was a county auditor, then she became a state rep, then she was appointed to be state auditor, and maybe soon I'll start telling that story because Pence is probably going to run for president, and she's I was there when all that happened. That'll be a fun story. So then she's a state auditor appointed, then she's appointed lieutenant governor. Okay, career politician, right? I mean, she has worked her way up the ladder.
Since 1994.
That's almost 30 years. In 1994, I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
I am now a 38-year-old grown-ass man.
She was a county auditor in 1994.
Right. So career politician, right? Mike Braun, same thing. School board, state rep, U.S. senator, doesn't even finish the full Senate term before he's trying to buy the next office. I mean, another career politician.
And Mike Braun, he keeps trying to distance himself from D.C. He said, I don't think leaders in Washington, D.C. are going to be the ones to solve our problems. The founders never intended it to be a system of seniority. They wanted merit. They wanted things to get done. So he's been saying that for a while now. That he's not getting it done at D.C. He wants to work for Hoosiers in Indiana.
Then why did you buy a Senate seat? Like what the question Mike Brown would be, what did you think you were getting into?
Lesson learned?
And the fact that you won't even see one term through before you're on to the next dealio because you're not having any fun. Let's face it. The reality is Mike Braun, he can say whatever he wants. He's not having any fun because he's in the minority. Being in the minority sucks. Look at who the front runner for U.S. Senate is going to be on the Republican side. And I actually like the way this guy votes most of the time. It's going to be Jim Banks. But the reality with Jim Banks is he wanted to be in leadership in the House, and he lost a leadership election, and so now he's on to the U.S. Senate. Not because he overwhelmingly thinks, well, I'd be the best person, because if that's the case, you wouldn't have run for leadership in the House. He lost an election for leadership in the House, which I think is bad because I think Banks would have done a nice job. But the reality is you're just on to the next thing. These people are almost all the same. And yet I keep getting told, well, you got to get them in a... Get who?
You know what's interesting is I saw... and we need to get to a break, but I saw Joe Donnelly's name being thrown around as a potential for the Democrat side. And wouldn't that be something that would be like Braun v. Donnelly 2.0?
That would be interesting. Okay, so... We mentioned Silent Suzanne. We've mentioned Mike Braun. There's a third guy running, Eric Doden.
Yeah.
And his response to these two declaring for governor, Doden's been running for a year. And he did a big policy rollout yesterday that is one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard.
All right, we're going to get to that next from 93 WIBC.
This family's doorbell cam filmed a coyote trying to drag away their 2-year-old daughter from the front yard.
The dad then picks up the child with one hand, grabs a rock or something with the other hand.
He had like a 2x4.
Yeah,
and started chasing it.
Chasing after the coyote and throws something at the coyote.
What is it with these animals? It used to be they wouldn't come near you.
You don't have to go through yet another year with that knee pain or back pain. Hoosiers with chronic joint pain are getting real lasting relief from QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine, utilizing protocols that use healing agents from your own body to target aching joints, repairing and restoring damaged tissue. You can move again with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. So if you have shoulder pain, hip pain, if you have arthritis pain or lingering pain from an injury, do not let them operate on you or give you more steroids. Say no to the pain pills. Call QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. See if their life-changing all-natural treatments can get you living your best life in the new year. I'm telling you, people right here in Indy are raving about these treatments. This is the future of joint pain management, and appointments are available as soon as the next week. Make 2023 the year you say goodbye to joint pain. Call QC Kinetics right now in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. It's a totally free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
The share it with a friend deal, even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
$3 meals? Sounds 3 times as tasty. Choose from a crispy 6-piece McNuggets or juicy double cheeseburger and add small fries, all for only $3. Add any size soft drink for $1. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This year, giving is receiving with Indiana College Choice 529 savings plans. It's the tax-advantaged way to save for qualified education expenses at any eligible institution in and out of state, including tech, trade, undergraduate and graduate programs, and registered apprenticeships. Contribute by December 31st, and you could receive a 20% Indiana state tax credit worth up to $1,000. Visit collegechoicedirect.com/plans to get started and read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home the Kubota L2501 tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus save up to $1,100, now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. Securely destroy electronic data. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Pierce Jewelers has a spectacular array of diamond earrings, diamond pendants, diamond rings, and diamond bracelets. They shop the world to bring you the very best. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show.
Good morning, Vietnam!
On 93 WIBC.
22 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And let's look at some trending stories. Miss Indiana is trending. She won the Talent Award portion of the first night of the 2023 Miss America competition. She did a theatrical vocal performance of Defying Gravity, which is the signature song from the musical Wicked. Also trending, Brown County State Park, ranked as one of America's most beautiful state parks. This comes from Travel Lens. They combined Yelp and TripAdvisor reviews along with Google search data, and they found that the Brown County State Park ranked in the top 25 of all of the state park across the country. And finally trending, Bob Barker. He celebrated a big birthday yesterday. Kevin and I forgot to mention it. I thought we'd bring it up today. How old do you think Bob Barker from The Price is Right is?
He is 90. Well, it's 97, right?
99.
Oh, I went under. See, I went under Price is Right rules. He's 99.
99.
Wow, that's wild.
He hosted Price is Right for 35 years, became the executive producer in 1988. He won 14 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Game Show Host, more than any other MC.
Isn't it interesting? So does this say when he first started hosting The Price is Right?
1972.
72. So that would have been, that was 50 years ago. So he'd have been 49 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that interesting that a guy later in life, and you see this quite a bit, where people have these long careers and then they stumble into something or get fortunate enough to be cast in something, and then all of a sudden that defines them.
Yeah, and it became an institution.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Price is Right. When you were homesick from school, what did you do? You were drinking your 7-Up, eating saltines, watching Price is Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Come on down. What was your favorite game? You liked Plinko, didn't you?
I just liked to see the enthusiasm of people that they thought there was an opportunity for them to win something they didn't pay for. That was always my favorite part.
Yeah.
The unbridled enthusiasm that you might win a couch or
a living room.
Like if you went to pick your favorite furniture store and someone was like, "Here's a couch," you'd be like, "Oh, cool, I got a couch." you would not be as excited as people were on The Price is Right. But the idea that they knew that couch was in their grasp if they could just correctly price junk. That was always my favorite part.
So if Bob Barker hits 100, he gets $1,000.
Can we play this Eric Doden audio real quick? So Eric Doden is the third guy running for governor. There's Silent Suzanne, there's Billionaire Braun, and Silent Suzanne, and Eric Doden. And so Doden is from Fort Wayne. He's a business guy. He was, I think, the economic something under Pence. And his response to the rollout from Silent Suzanne and Billionaire Braun was his genius idea is he's going to eliminate taxes for teachers. Go.
Indiana's kids deserve the best schools. To create the best schools, we must have the best teachers. But today we face a shortfall of 2,100 teachers in our state. I'm Eric Doden, and that's why I proposed a teacher investment program, an innovative plan to attract and retain Hoosiers to the teaching profession. Under our plan, teachers will pay no state income tax, will receive a tax credit to offset property taxes, and will work with our state universities to lower the cost of becoming a teacher. Learn more at dodenforindiana.com.
So basically, and I looked this up in the dictionary. I looked teacher up in the dictionary, and nowhere in the definition of teacher did I see the phrase better than you listed anywhere. But I guess if you're a teacher now, you're better than any other hardworking Hoosier because he's checking all the boxes for you. No income taxes, property taxes, college assistance. What if you're a cop? Every day you wake up and there's a risk you're going to get shot. Nothing for you. What if you're a fireman? Every day you wake up and there's a risk you could die running through a burning building. Nothing for you. But hey, if you're a teacher, no income tax, no property tax, free college. This is what we talk about when we talk about legalized vote buying. That is not a policy that works for all Hoosiers. It's a policy geared towards very selective Hoosiers intended to get you to vote for him. There is no difference between these people. This is the Republican Party. They are the party of big government. They are the party of special interest. They are the party of legalized vote buying.
So heading into this past school year, schools had about 2,300 open teaching positions, and his word is that the Indiana schools are struggling with the teacher shortage. A lot of them have retired, and many people aren't getting into the profession. But picking winners and losers is just bad governance. You can't do that. You can't say some are better than others.
But you can, and the reason he's doing it is because people in the state keep rewarding Republicans at all levels of government for doing it. Why wouldn't he put that out there? He will probably get votes because of that, and we as a collective do not punish these people for terrible ideas.
For teachers who achieve at least 20 years of service in the classroom, the tax exemption and tax credit become permanent as long as their primary residence remains in Indiana. That's his plan.
If somebody can find in the dictionary where the definition of teacher is better than you, let me know. Because the last time I checked, Casey, I go to work every day. I pay taxes. I contribute to society. I keep the economic engine running, but nothing for us. But hey, if you're a teacher, no taxes of any kind.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And coming up next, we're going to speak with Micah Beckwith.
AAA has bailed me out multiple times, including this one time I was at work, battery died, couldn't go anywhere. AAA was here within 45 minutes. They pulled my old battery out, put a new one in, and I was on my way. And if you're still not done with your holiday shopping, if you're a AAA member like me, I've got you covered, okay? Give the gift of peace of mind this holiday season, a AAA membership. It's the gift that keeps giving well past the holidays. Flat tires, dead batteries, lock your keys in your car, 24/7 roadside assistance from AAA for an entire year. I'm a AAA member. You should be too.
Check another thing off of your list by giving someone you care about a AAA membership. Get yours today at your local AAA office by calling 844-GO-AAA-GO or visiting AAA.com. And don't forget to ask about complimentary travel planning and great insurance rates, auto, home, life, and more, because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
Sign up for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Come in for a free fitting, no appointment needed. The Good Feet store, in the north, near Keystone at the Crossing or in Greenwood.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Pretty good-looking report. It's sunny and 34 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. The latest inflation report is beating expectations. The consumer price index for November rose by just 0.1%, and analysts were looking for a 0.3% increase. On a year-over-year basis, the CPI went up by 7.1%. That's also slightly better than expected. How it's impacting stocks coming up. Russia's president is backing out of an annual presser that he does around Christmas time. Fox's Jonathan Savage.
This is what we're used to. A room full of mostly smiling Russian journalists and a relaxed President Putin taking their highly choreographed questions. But for the first time in a decade, this Christmas time tradition has been cancelled. We've not been told why. But commentators say it could be Mr. Putin's reluctance to talk about what's going on in Ukraine. The British government on Twitter saying the cancellation is likely due to growing anti-war feeling inside Russia and a fear the event could be hijacked. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Mike Leach has died. He was the head football coach at Mississippi State University. Leach died after suffering what reports said was a massive heart attack at his home in Starkville. Leach had only been the head coach of the Bulldogs since 2020. And now the stock report. With that inflation report coming out, stocks are soaring today. The Dow was up 845 points to 35,110. The Nasdaq up 487 points to 12,317, and the S&P 500 up 127 to 4,152. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Indiana Foundation Service. We work on a lot of neighborhood homes, and we're proud to share some of what our customers have said about us.
My basement had massive amounts of water when it rained. I made an appointment. They were professional and honest. I'd highly recommend them if you need help waterproofing your home. You'll be in good hands.
When we realized our family room was sinking, we knew we had to act fast and get the right people to come out and evaluate our situation. It was nerve-wracking. Turns out I had a foundation problem. They fixed it and guaranteed it for life.
I was having problems with water in my crawl space during heavy rains. I was concerned about mold and the air my family was breathing. I'm so happy I called. The problem was fixed, and I'm not stressed anymore.
Indiana Foundation Service can keep your home and family safe. Visit IndianaFoundation.com to book your free inspection.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
So, first day at your new job. A lot of nerves, right? Not really. Why? Because when you were getting your associate degree at Ivy Tech Community College, you received hands-on training on state-of-the-art technology, most of it the same equipment you'll be working on today. You're ready because the staff and faculty at Ivy Tech made sure of it. They met you where you were at, then helped you get where you were going. A new career paying $10,000 more a year than what you can get with just a high school diploma. And it all started at ivytech.edu.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. Amen. Amen. It's time to go to church. Here to preach to the choir from the bully pulpit, Pastor Micah Beckwith.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline. The conservative voice of America. He has made it back safely from Israel, Micah Beckwith. We're so glad you're safe because you did not have the right to free speech or freedom of attorney, Micah, and we're glad you're here.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to be back to the land of the free and home of the brave. It gave me a great perspective on what we really do have here in the United States. I mean, we have it so well. I mean, we are so blessed, and what Israel has to put up with every single day. If we even had to put up with that for 4 hours, we wouldn't stand for it. And yet, the world community tells them to just sit down and be quiet, and but again, it gives me great perspective, and really it's a privilege to be a United States citizen. And they don't have a constitution over in Israel. I don't know if you knew that, or not. I didn't know that. It's just law over there.
Everybody just freewheeling it over there. Whatever goes.
Well, they have laws, but there's no constitution or constitutional rights. So I thought that was interesting. But man, praise God for our Constitution. So it's.
Okay, so we start with some very important life advice as I reach out to you this morning, Micah. You have told me the answer is to get these people in a primary, these being the establishment, big government people. And so far for governor, I have three choices in the run for governor. I have a guy who voted for all the Holcomb tax increases in Mike Braun. I have a person who was a complete silent Sally, as Holcomb did everything from the tax increases to the VIP meet and greet with Malik Muhammad in silent Suzanne Crouch. And I have Eric Doden, who his big rollout was teachers shouldn't have to pay taxes, but if you're a cop or a hardworking Hoosier in any other field, screw you. So what am I supposed to do here, Micah? Help! Go! I'm looking to you. You told me let's get them in a primary. These are my three choices right now.
Well, I'm going to default to Casey. Casey, what should we do here?
I also heard that Destiny Wells might run on the Democratic ticket.
No, I mean, come on. You told me I got to get these people to primary. These are my choices.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Every candidate is never going to be a perfect candidate. I think there's great qualities to all three of them. I haven't made up necessarily my choice who I'm supporting because I think there will be other people who get in the race. But I think all three will be much better than Eric Holcomb has been. I personally know them all. I think I've had a chance to ask them really tough questions, and they are the answers they're giving me are they're sick and tired of what Holcomb has done in the state as well. And so I think, I don't think it's just...
Wait. Suzanne Crouch told you, Silent Suzanne told you she's sick of what Holcomb's doing in the state. Did she just learn how to talk last week?
Hey, I sat down with her for a 3-hour coffee, and she listened, she heard. I mean, she really, I think she gets it. And I told her, I said, Suzanne, the hardest thing you're going to have to overcome in this primary that you're jumping into is the fact that you were silent. And she knew that. She actually answered the question when I posed it to her. I said, what do you think conservatives are going to ask? And she said, where was I? And I said, exactly. But she answered that in a way that I think made it gave me pause on saying that she's not going to have a chance. I think she answered it in a way that said, hey, I should have stood up more. I was trying to be respectful of the governor's office. I was coming at him privately, and I don't know if you know this or not, but they really haven't been on great terms for the last few months, and I think it's because she was just blindsided that he vetoed the women's sports bill. I mean, that was, to her, I think, the final straw.
That's what did it for her? That was it? The mask mandate, the shutting down the government, the Malik Muhammad stuff? Oh, that was okay, but the women's sports bill is what did it for her?
Hey, listen, I think these are all great questions that we need to ask them, and we need to hold them accountable, let them answer the question. But here's what I would just say. Give them a chance. You got to ask. You got to let these people come out and say, where are they on these really key, important issues? So, again, I was skeptical of Suzanne, had a great coffee with her. I think she really will be a fighter for conservative values. I think she's seen what not to do in Holcomb, and I think she'll stand up and she would be a good governor if she got in there. Now, I think Doden would be a good governor. I love his business background. I think he's got a great vision for getting the rural parts of Indiana really prosperous. And then Mike Braun, I think Mike Braun's kind of a no-nonsense business guy. He's an executive. I think one of the reasons he doesn't like the Senate, or he's stepping away from the Senate after his first term, is because he's kind of this executive leader. He's really strong leader. Now, I don't think he gets it right every single time, but I do think he's got the personality to say, this is the vision, this is where we're going, get in line. And that's what you really need in a good executive.
Micah, did you take a job at State Party? Did I miss your what is going on here?
Hey, listen, I'm just saying, Rob, you got to give people a chance first. And so I'm not saying that they're going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I am saying I'm willing to listen. And then if it doesn't work out, then we can find another candidate. I mean, maybe you can run, or maybe, I don't know.
There it is.
Casey, go ahead. I've had enough of Mike already.
There it is. Okay, so Micah, I have a question for you about Suzanne Crouch, and clearly we already know what her nickname is going to be. But you mentioned she has a clear vision. I want to read something to you, and then I want to ask you the question. She tweeted out yesterday morning, I have a clear vision for Indiana's future. Lower taxes, keep our citizens safe, and protect the sanctity of life. All of those things sound wonderful. But then she said, and defend Hoosier values. Isn't that what she should have been doing as lieutenant governor? And in your mind, what are the generic Hoosier values that she speaks of?
Well, Hoosier values, I think first it's faith, it's family, and it's limited government. I think if you wanted to put it in a nutshell, that's kind of what defines the heartland, what defines Hoosiers. As I travel the state, those are the three core issues that I always come back to. We are strong in our faith, we care about our family, and we want limited government. And so now I'll tell you this conversation that I had with Suzanne, I think it was just she's realized that she should have been more vocal, and I think she'll own that. I think if you ask her, she'll say, hey, I should have been more vocal. One of the things that we have to get our leaders to recognize is that they answer to the people first and foremost. I think one of the, just if I could maybe, she didn't tell me this per se, but if I could just read between the lines, she's very humble. She's very, she really does want to serve. She's got a servant heart. And so she was in that office as lieutenant governor, and I think she really felt like she was supposed to serve the governor's agenda. And so she was critical of him behind closed doors, but wanted to, Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment, thou shalt not speak ill of a fellow Republican. I think that she was walking in that. What Rob, Casey, you guys and myself included, we know we're playing in a different game, a different season than when Ronald Reagan was president. It's time to take the gloves off and start calling out Republicans when they're not living by Republican values. But she was kind of in that lane. And I told her, I said, Suzanne, I said, you were elected by the people. It's a constitutionally elected office. You don't serve the governor. You serve the people. And she totally, she owned it. She said, yes, you're right. I think that's when a politician can come out and say, hey, I made a mistake. I own it. If I could go back, I'd do it over again. I think she would absolutely do it over again. So all that to say, ask her these tough questions when she's out on the campaign trail. I think you'll like the answer that you get. And I think she's learned her lesson. And I think she would be a good governor.
I get it now, Casey. So Micah Beckwith is our guest back from Israel. It's just like at the end of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Suzanne, conveniently, a couple weeks before she decided to run for governor, has found the strength of 10 conservatives plus 2. Oh, we've solved it.
Let the record show that Rob Kendall interviewed her on his show when this was all going on, and he failed to ask her any of the tough questions. So I just want the record to be clear on this.
Micah's very angry that I was nice to Jackie Walorski after she passed away, and I interviewed her about farming. Micah, let's talk about the U.S. Senate race real quick. The word on the street is that Lockdown McGee is going to get in. That totally seems par for the course. We all, I guess, have to be the biggest Jim Banks fans in the world if that happens, or Victoria Spartz, or are they going to split the vote? I just feel like somehow I'm going to wake up the day after the Republican primary, and it's going to be Eric Holcomb is going to be the U.S. Senate nominee, and Suzanne Crouch is going to be our nominee for governor. That is my biggest fear, and I can just see it happening. Help me with this.
Well, I don't think he's going to stand a chance if Holcomb gets in the race. Look back at the last year. Okay, let's just think about it. If he was actually thinking about a statewide race, again, this is in a strong primary, so not on the general ballot, because when you're a Republican on the general, you basically have the win unless you do something crazy. But in a strong primary with someone like a Jim Banks or a Victoria Spartz, the last year, Holcomb, if he wanted to run a statewide campaign, he did the opposite of what he should have done. He fought against constitutional carry. Okay, he vetoed the women's sports bill. He went to Davos and hung out with Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum people. He did everything wrong if he's running for a statewide office in a strong conservative primary. So I just don't think he's going to do it. maybe he will, but if he does get in, I don't think he stands a chance. I've heard rumors that Mitch Daniels is also kicking around the idea of running too. And
he's 109, Micah!
I'm just saying that's what I've heard. And you know what? Biblical standards, 120 is what God promises us. So just...
Well, I'm going to have to work forever if that's true.
We are so glad that you're back. We're glad you made it back safely. It was I know your wife was very concerned about my level of concern for you.
She was. She said, Rob was really concerned for you. She said, I feel like a bad wife because I wasn't nearly as concerned as Rob was for you.
Leave it to Rob to get somebody riled up.
Hey, man, we're glad you're back safe. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Hey, thanks, you guys, too.
93 WIBC, it's Kendall and Casey Show.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Biggest stories of the day in Indy. Don Fisher, Tuesdays with Tony. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. We'll talk to you this afternoon.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
It's gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Bear Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
It's Terry Stacy, and when I hear the word free, my ears perk up a little bit. So listen to this December deal from Exercise Inc., the 20-minute once-a-week workout that will change your life. Sign up right now in December, mention WIBC, and you get 2 sessions free. Now, most people gain 5 pounds during the holidays and then spend the next 5 months trying to lose it. Don't be that person. Come to Exercise Inc. in December, and you'll get a coach who will help you get stronger, feel better, and start losing weight right now. You'll increase your metabolism, you'll feel fantastic, and enjoy the holidays a whole lot more. Don't wait until January. Give yourself a gift that truly will change your life. Exercise Inc. for all ages, no crowded gym, and you'll have a coach that's by your side during your 20-minute once-a-week workout. Exercise Inc.'s December deal at all 4 locations. Sign up now, mention WIBC, and get 2 free sessions. Visit exerciseinc.com for a location near you.
Gather near and bring the cheer this holiday season. Dazzle and delight the love of your life with a gift from Hellsberg Diamonds. Don't miss great prices on stunning diamond studs, tennis bracelets, gemstone rings, and the year's must-have look, gold jewelry for stacking and layering. Another reason to go to Hellsberg? Get a free Microsoft Surface Laptop Go with a purchase of $1,699 or more. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you today. Limited time offer while supplies last. See online or in store for details.
Downtown Indy, dressed in holiday style and adorned with bright lights and holiday sights all season long. Where friends visit Monument Circle with its festive lighting, audio and video presentations every night of the week. Make new memories while enjoying award-winning restaurants just steps away from your favorite attractions, sporting events, and performances. Come celebrate the season where it all began, downtown. Go to downtownindy.org/holidays for all the info. That's downtownindy.org/holidays.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 38,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans, no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson. Always expect the best.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
Podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever. Online at WIBC.com.
Time, baby. Love me twice today.
So he was sitting in a studio as the snow fell outside, looking relaxed, wearing a blue blazer, a maroon T-shirt.
This is how these Fabio novels begin?
Only this time, it was how the first interview began with Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. Yeah, it was the first interview he gave on TV after, his 14-year imprisonment.
Because when you rolled into that, it was exactly like a dime store novel. Can you just try that again?
This is real, though. This is real life. This isn't a drama.
I know,
or fiction.
But can you start with just how you opened that segment?
He was sitting in a studio as the snow fell outside, looking relaxed in a blue blazer and a maroon T-shirt.
He looked at Gladys, sweat dripping from his brow. Doesn't that sound exactly like one of those novels?
Yeah, well, I mean, he gave his first interview, and he was talking about what it was like to be in, prison. And I thought it needed a little bit of finesse.
So we traded, obviously, and I can't remember. Oh, yeah, we did. We did, because the lady was concerned about the vein on the side of my neck the day that we were on air since that trade happened.
Well, it happened Thursday morning, right before we got on the air.
That's right. Yes, that's correct. And so the reality is that you have returned a person to America who, while every American life is valuable, even people who hate this country, she is of no value long-term in terms of the outcome of the success of this country. And what I mean by that, and that may sound very, very harsh, but what I'm saying is the guy we gave up will now be brokering international arms deals at a time of war in which we have plugged tens of billions of printed dollars let's face it, we are de facto fighting a war, right? I mean, we do not technically have soldiers on the ground, but we are de facto at war with Russia. And we have released a man back into society who will broker and funnel and fund and whatever the ability for Russia to fight that war in a better fashion than they are currently doing. The person we got in return dunks basketballs. So I don't mean to be callous about that, but the reality is Russia got the far better end of that deal from that perspective.
Yeah, and now Biden's national security advisor says the merchant of death is not a terrorist.
Yes.
Not a terrorist, Rob. Even though he was convicted.
Yes.
He was convicted.
Now, Casey, I am
providing aid to a terrorist organization. He's not a terrorist.
I am no expert. And I hate to judge people based on appearances alone. But if the Merchant of Death isn't a terrorist name, I don't know what is.
Okay, so I've come up with a way that you can find your evil villain name.
Oh, great.
So here's what you do. You take your dad's profession.
Oh, okay.
Add a preposition. And then something you're scared of.
So your dad's profession.
Your dad's profession.
A preposition.
And then something you're scared of.
So give me an example.
Plumber by small spaces. CEO of snakes.
Okay.
Executive from hell.
Oh, yeah. So mine would be federal law enforcement of spiders.
Enforcer of spiders.
Yeah.
That's your evil villain name.
Oh, enforcer of spiders. Oh, that's great. Did you come up with that on your own?
Yeah.
Was this while you were sitting? How did the segment begin? That he was sitting were you sitting by the fireplace with a blue blazer and?
No, I was sitting at the kitchen island drinking a Coke. Not quite as visually.
So we actually have audio of Biden's national security advisor saying Victor Bout not a terrorist.
Does the administration consider Victor Bout to be a terrorist?
Well, he's not listed as a specially designated national. What we consider him to have been was a convicted criminal, convicted of arms trafficking and other crimes, to serve a sentence. He served 12 years in detention. He was set to be released in 2029. And of course, before we make any determination about whether to send somebody back as part of a deal to get an American home, we make a determination about the national security implications of that. We did that assessment in this case. We believe we can manage those challenges, but we will remain constantly vigilant against any threat that Victor Bout may pose to Americans, to the United States going forward. We also would just point out that There is no shortage of arms traffickers and mercenaries in Russia who pose challenges and threats to the international order, to the United States and otherwise, and we are vigilant about that as well, which is why we have built, alongside our allies and partners, such a robust policy in dealing with the threats posed by Russia.
So here we go again, changing the definition to fit their narrative.
Yeah.
Changing the definition of what a terrorist is.
Look, and again, I'm no expert, but just using my public school education, granted I was a part of the public school before the public school was woke, so I'm not getting the education the way the children do today. But if someone's job was to broker arms deals to go to people who committed acts of violence and terrorism, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards that being a terrorist. And if he's of no value, because they're trying to act like, well, you know, it's 2029, he was going to get out anyway, and he's been in there for 12 years. Why is Sheikh Mohammed still at Guantanamo Bay? He's been there, 21 years now? If you're of no value at a certain point, why are we holding on to him?
Well, we have to keep the war machine going.
Bingo.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Feel like you're riding an economic roller coaster? All the whiplash has likely wreaked havoc on your investment portfolio, maybe even derailing your future plans. It's unpredictable, uncertain, and unsettling. It's time to regain your footing with a second opinion from Edelman Financial Engines. We're Barron's #1 rated independent financial advisory firm 5 years running. So you can be confident you're getting integrated wealth management advice, including tax planning, estate planning, insurance, and more from an experienced and trusted investment advisory firm. Take advantage of a complimentary wealth checkup with a planner who puts your needs first. There's no sales pressure and no obligation. When it comes to your financial well-being, you can count on the top-rated independent financial advisory firm in the nation. Visit Edelman Financial Engines at EFEWealthPlanners.com. That's EFEWealthPlanners.com. Barron's rating awarded annually each September 2018 to 2022. Compensation paid for distribution of rating.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your heater running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Robert Kirby says they sell the American Standard brand because American Standard listens to the techs who install and service their products.
We went down to the factory and they want your feedback. Being in the field, you can actually see some things that they could change on the product to make it better. And right there on the line, I mean, they actually take your input.
Call Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
People here are raving about QC Kinetics and how regenerative medicine has changed their life. People like Helen, an avid mountain climber who got sidelined when an accident left her knees in constant pain.
I was not able to train or do really anything on my knee.
Helen was told surgery would be her only option. But then she found QC Kinetics and was treated with natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later, she was climbing the highest mountain in North America.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain. I began treatment in March, and I summited Denali June the 7th. It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Get your life back with lasting results. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We've been in the same location with the same phone number for 27 years. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what in the heck do you have to lose? Call me at 317-435-1718 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-435-1718 or rragency.org. Don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the vote in Lebanon, what some residents had to say about the plan approved. Plus, Perry Township schools are reorganizing a few things. That and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Tamer inflation, surging stocks. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what's happening this morning as the Dow surges up nearly 600 points after consumer prices barely rose last month from October. And Fox Business Network's Jerry Willis reports the annual rise of inflation dropped again.
Lower than Wall Street expectations at 7.1%. Month to month, that number, 0.1%, a tenth of a percent, barely budging. Now, easing energy prices leading to that positive report, down 1.6% month to month. Gas prices, the biggest contributor to the decline.
Now, the AAA's national average for regular is down 53 cents from just a month ago. It's now $3.24 per gallon. That's nearly a dime less than we were paying a year ago. Federal prosecutors have just unsealed an 8-count indictment against Sam Bankman-Fried the day after he was arrested in the Bahamas, facing extradition here. The founder of the now bankrupt FTX cryptocurrency exchange is charged with wire fraud, money laundering, and violating campaign finance laws, as his donations to mostly Democrats are under scrutiny as well. The Securities and Exchange Commission filed a separate case today alleging Bankman-Fried operated
a years-long scheme to defraud equity investors. Those accusations include the diversion of FTX customer funds to Alameda, as well as SBF using those commingled funds to make venture investments, lavish real estate purchases, and those large political donations. SEC Chair Gary Gensler, he said, quote, FTX operated behind a veneer of legitimacy. That veneer wasn't just thin, it was fraudulent. FTX's collapse highlights the very real risks that unregistered crypto asset trading platforms can pose for investors and customers alike.
Fox Business Network's Kelly O'Grady. A college football coach has died. Mike Leach led Mississippi State to an 8-4 season, setting up a bowl game in January against Illinois. He was 61, died of complications of a heart condition. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Good for the city, he says. It's sunny and 35 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Lebanon Mayor Matt Gentry has been pushing for the city to annex land north of the city limits in order to get moving on a project with the state to bring in high-tech businesses to build new facilities. It's gotten as much pushback as it has support.
How much is this going to cost taxpayers at the end of the day? Where's this money coming from? It is well known the IEDC already is using $500 million of federal COVID funding from the American Rescue Plan Act to fund the READY program.
Boone County resident Britt Reese, councilors voted 5-1 to annex the land. Perry Township schools are reorganizing. The model unanimously approved by the school board will establish new elementary school boundaries, end the district's choice program, and require all students to attend their newly assigned schools. Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch on where she wants to take the state.
I think we'll go in a new direction, and I think we will create even more opportunities for Hoosiers. We will build upon the foundation that's been established, but we will do things even more.
She tells WIBC's Tony Katz that in working with Governor Holcomb, Indiana has become a better place to do business, but under her administration, she wants to focus more on quality of life. She and Senator Mike Braun are among the big names on the GOP ballot for governor in 2024. The Cass County GOP has decided to censure Senator Todd Young, rather. The party sent a letter to Young this week condemning his vote in favor of the Respect for Marriage Act. The Cass County GOP saying that Young is departed from the deeply held views of the vast majority of Hoosiers. The law codifies legal same-sex marriage on the federal level. Ronald Sexton is a comedian who plays Donnie Baker on the Bob and Tom Show. Now, he tells Wish TV that the man who shot at him and shot up his van early Sunday was his girlfriend's ex-partner.
I just never thought in a million years that it would escalate to somebody, risking to put their
their life in jail, put somebody else in a grave, and to go away to prison. I never thought that it would ever come to that.
So far, no arrest has been made. On the Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Guys, this Christmas, give her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all. I'm talking about soft, silky, naturally nude pajamas, available exclusively at Pajamagram. They are sensuous and smooth. I'm talking naturally nude pajamas, feeling like her soft skin, more alluring than lingerie. The texture and touch of these PJs is very seductive. You're both going to love the feel of them. I know my wife does. She looks great in them. Order today, and Pajamagram will include a free matching naturally nude nightie. That's a $75 saving on a best-selling holiday gift.
Best of all, Pajamagram does the wrapping for you with free gift packaging. In a year filled with the unexpected, get her something she can count on. But you need to order today, because last year they sold out before Christmas. So here's what you do. Go to Pajamagram.com right now. That's Pajamagram.com. Go there right now and order the naturally nude pajamas. Pajamagram.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's lab-grown or mined diamond store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 13th. It is 6 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. His name is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and we're glad you're here this morning. And we start off the hour talking about the lady from the Republican National Committee, the chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel. She's campaigning for her fourth term as chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. However, the Arizona Republican Party is calling for her to resign from her position. They sent out a tweet earlier last week saying tonight the executive committee of the Arizona GOP unanimously passed a resolution calling for her resignation.
The Republican Party, and it is, so we started off last hour talking about the total underachievers that are running for governor, right? You've got Silent Suzanne, career politician, yes man to all the tax increases, etc. Then you've got billionaire Braun, again, at the crux of it, career politician who has worked his way up the ladder no matter what he says or does. That's what he is. He desperately wants to be in politics. And then you've got this Doden guy who his big rollout was no taxes for teachers. Screw the rest of you. It's just the same. My point is on this. We keep picking the same type of people and then are amazed that we don't get any different result. And so that is true in the sense of the governance aspect of it, but also from the party structure. Look at what the Republicans did after massive underachievement in the midterm. Kevin McCarthy in the House, straight out of Central Casting. John Boehner, Paul Ryan, fill in the blank. Mitch McConnell, same guy who's been there since the earth was young. I mean, other than a brief period in the middle of the last decade, he's never been in the majority because he's unlikable. And then leading the party, Ronna McDaniel has failed repeatedly. 2018, lost the House. 2020, lost everything. 2022, yes, technically won the House, but a massive underachievement. And yet we are on the verge of putting these same establishment stooges in position of power. The governance is not going to change. The party is not going to change. You have to get different people with different ideas in there.
And she was recently asked about the midterms, and she said she doesn't want to play the blame game.
Yeah.
Meaning, don't look at me.
Well, and so here's the problem, and we're going to play a little audio from her here in just a second, and this is the problem front and center, right? You can point out the realities without being a never-Trumper, right? There has to be a middle ground on that. And the reality is that Donald Trump, as in Donald Trump, and Donald Trump endorsed candidates are dramatically underperforming the rest of the race. I mean, look at Georgia. 7 out of 8 statewide Republicans or statewide offices went Republican. One didn't. Herschel Walker, who drugged down by Trump. Blake Masters didn't win. Kerry Lake didn't win. Laxalt in Nevada didn't win. The two Republicans who did win, Bud in North Carolina got out in a relative squeaker, and J.D. Vance, while winning, dramatically underperformed the rest, the governor in that state. What's his face? Oz lost to a guy who entered the debate with "Hi, good night, everybody." The Mascherino, the governor candidate there, dramatically underperformed. People are done with Trump.
Well, and how much money did it take for J.D. Vance to win?
Exactly.
Millions and millions.
People are sick of Trump. It is like being in a relationship where one person has decided, I am done here. I'm whether it's a boyfriend, a wife, a husband, or whatever. There just comes a point where no matter what you do, you're not going to salvage that relationship. People are there with Donald Trump. And so the correct response for her would be, yeah, you know what? We have made a calculated error by being beholden to Donald Trump. And clearly there are many, and I'm just freewheeling this off the top of my head. How can she not come up with this? There are many incredibly bright, young people who are leading, not just in this party, but leading in this nation, who I look forward to being the new generation. And it is beholden to us to prop these people up sooner rather than later. I mean, what an easy answer. And you could say it a million times better than that. But listen to this. She is just so squish.
Would you publicly say that Donald Trump bears any responsibility for some of the losses in the midterm elections? Would you say that publicly?
You know, I don't like this. I don't like these parceling out, because he supported Ted Budd, who won, and he supported J.D. Vance, who won. I think there's a lot of things. That's why I've put together an after-action report. We've got to look at Dobbs. But here's the one thing that I think people should be talking about: the amount of ticket splitting. The amount of Republicans that went out and voted for a Republican at the top of the ticket. Look at Arizona. The top vote getter is a Republican. Look at Georgia. We had 8 of 9 statewide races won by Republicans. But why are Republicans going and voting for one Republican and not the other?
Trump.
We have to work hard to bring those independents
isn't that the
in.
answer to
but that means turnout was not the issue.
The answer is Trump, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not into the blame game right now. I think we've got to do an analysis. I think it's too quick. And I think you can't parcel out, well, this endorsement helped this one and this. It's the whole message. It's what did each candidate do? What was their turnout? But most importantly, how do we get independents to support Republicans? And how do we get Republicans to support other Republicans? And this infighting within our party is never going to help that. We need Trump voters. We need McCain voters. We need Romney voters. And then some if we're going to beat the Democrats.
Okay. So, I don't know. Have you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
Mm-hmm.
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, spoiler alert, the movie's 40 years old, so I think I can go ahead and say this at this point. Remember how it ends. She finally beats him when she just turns her back and says, "You're not real. You can't hurt me anymore."
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Republican Party needs to do here. Trump has had his opportunity. Trump has lost in a massive fashion 2 election cycles in a row. That we're done here, right? We're done with this with this equation. And the sooner you have that conversation, right, the sooner we as a collective turn our back and say, we're done here. You can't threaten us. You can't hurt us anymore. Look, all these victories he supposedly had, one, it doesn't matter in primaries because that's not how you get in office. But Greg Pence doesn't count. Jim Banks doesn't count. The vast majority of these people were not going to lose. They didn't have any competition, or if they had competition, it was ridiculous competition. Donald Trump was horrendous in races that were up for grabs, and he was the focal point. She made the case there that we've been making for months now, which is the reality of all of this, whether people want to admit it or not, is that in Georgia, 7 Republicans won and 1 lost in statewide office, and that was Herschel Walker.
And that was Trump's candidate.
And the difference was Donald Trump. People will vote Republican unless Donald Trump is shoved into their face. I promise you, if Donald Trump had not endorsed Herschel Walker and he had won a primary on his own and he had run with Ron DeSantis and Brian Kemp, the governor there, and whatever, he would have won.
Would have been a different outcome. Well, she said it's too quick. We have to do some analysis. What are you waiting for? Do the analysis already. We've already done the analysis. It's already been done. We've already figured this out. Why is she so slow in the uptake? And here's an idea. Get the Republican messaging clear. She's not into the blame game. Okay, but is she into organizing a clear, consistent message? She said she wants all Republicans on the same page. Isn't that her job as the chairwoman?
Right.
Lead the party.
It is though we have said to ourselves, well, we either have to have super big government establishment people or it must be Trump. No, it doesn't. We don't have to have Mitch McConnell. We don't have to have Jeb Bush. We don't have to have Kevin McCarthy. At least I'm speaking for you, and if I'm wrong, correct me. We're not saying Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy should be in charge. What we're saying is there are an infinite number of really bright, likable people who are reliably conservative, whether it is obviously Ron DeSantis, but even take him out of the equation because everything becomes Trump versus DeSantis. Tim Scott, Kristi Noem, Greg Abbott. I mean, there's just a ton of people who you could put them at a Carmel soccer mom's dinner and they walk away going, yeah, I might vote for that person, versus Donald Trump or Trump-esque people, whether it's Boebert or Green or whoever, and they're not even getting in the door. You have to be able to get in the door to close the sale, and we keep putting people up who can't even get in the door to close the sale. It is not an either-or conversation here. You can have reliably consistent, conservative, likable candidates. You don't have to default to McConnell and Kevin McCarthy.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Do you want to get to this Morning Joe? He got his panties all up in a wad over Elon Musk. So Elon Musk has fallen from the top spot on Forbes' real-time billionaires list. His stock closed down less than 6% on Monday. This is a real-time as they sit there and watch stocks go up and down. He'll be back up on top in no time, I'm sure. But, he tweeted out the other day that his pronouns were prosecute Fauci and got a lot of backlash for that. The tweet went viral, had over 1 million likes and 100,000 replies within, hours of him tweeting it. And now Morning Joe has to attack Elon because, of course, they have to have a bad guy to go after.
So I want to play this for one reason, because my favorite, there's no real deep aha moment here in this audio where you'd say that's uber insightful or whatever. It's just Morning Joe being ridiculous like Morning Joe always is. But I want to play this because I get great pleasure out of listening to Morning Joe be completely beholden to his wife and do her bidding on cable television as she agrees in the background. This happens all the time on this show, and it's literally like, I don't want to tell these children to get off of my driveway. Honey, you go out there and do it. Just listen to this. It's great.
I just gotta say, to be honest with you,
not to bring us into
when he's so obviously
gross
playing into he's doing like this shock opera routine. Like his thing on Anthony Fauci. It's
dangerous.
It's stupid. It's dangerous if you have a lot of money in Tesla. It's stupid otherwise. All of this sort of Twitter infighting. Again, Andrew, okay, you brought him up. So I'll just say, I can get off Twitter. I don't really care. Right. But I'm wondering what a guy spending $44 billion on that. He's got this brilliant mind for inventing things, for creating things. Every day, I wonder, why is he acting like a backbench Republican in the House of Representatives instead of like the richest guy in the world, a guy who could actually take the country in positive places? I don't get it.
Look, and I know we got to get to a break, but in your relationship, whatever it is, if you sense in any shape, form, or capacity as a man that you are heading towards Morning Joe, you need to get out of that immediately, because I promise you that man internally is a level of miserable I can't even begin to describe.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and something happened down in the Bahamas last night. Someone was arrested. We're going to talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
What's happening?
You won't be seeing much of the sun for a while.
Folks here in central Indiana need to get used to gray skies because we may have that till the middle of next week.
Check in at the top and bottom of the hour.
Big decision on the Supreme Court. LGBTQ couples.
Access to services.
Get the very latest.
Twitter is facing serious questions.
The day's news.
Civil rights and obstruction of justice.
Chase Winkle faces 11 charges, people being arrested and writing false reports.
Hear the news. 93 WIBC.
Get ready for holiday feast season with Pepto-Bismol.
Uncle Derek's here with his famous fried turkey. Hey, Aunt Mary brought the mac and cheese. Donna's here with the potato salad.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for unexpected stomach upsets. So enjoy the holidays. Pepto has you covered, no matter who made the potato salad.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, I'm Sherry Shepherd. You probably know me best as a co-host on The View. More importantly, I'm a mom. I talk to a lot of moms, and I'll tell you what, we all want the best for our babies. But each year, more than 500,000 babies are born prematurely, and this can lead to serious health problems. The good news is that now if you're pregnant or a new mom, you can get easy access to information to keep your baby healthy. It's through a free service called Text for Baby. Pregnant women and new moms get timely, expert health tips sent directly to their cell phones. The tips will help you care for your new child in each important phase of early development. Get Text for Baby. Free messages on your cell phone to help you through your pregnancy and your baby's first year. Just text BABY, B-A-B-Y, to 511-411. That's BABY, B-A-B-Y, to 511-411 for the health of your baby.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey, and let's talk about your retirement dream, right? You had plans to sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, travel, maybe go see the grandkids, but inflation and the recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity is still going to be there. Well, here's a question. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in the home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all of your property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do with whatever you'd like. So take that trip. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. It's the smarter, fastest way to cash out your home's value without having to move. It's TrueHold.com.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
This guy's really hardcore, highly fanatical.
And Casey Daniels.
I love her! I trust her!
On 93 WIBC.
22 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and we're going to take a look at some trending stories. Classic rock bands Lynyrd Skynyrd and ZZ Top in the news. They're going to co-headline a Summer 23 tour, and they're bringing the show to Ruoff Music Center, Noblesville. Uncle Kracker will be a special guest on the tour. Tickets for that go on sale Friday at 10 a.m.
Okay. We got to have this conversation.
Okay. What conversation is
There's no one left from the original Lynyrd Skynyrd in that band, right? Am I wrong on that? They're all gone? Is there maybe one person?
Well, a couple of them died in the 70s.
Well, obviously in the plane crash, but I'm saying, like, collectively, if you were to put up Lynyrd Skynyrd circa 1974.
It's a different band.
Yeah, other than the brother of the guy who was the lead singer, right? What are we doing here? I mean, how are these guys not on American Greed?
Hey, you know
or fraud?
You know how they died in that plane crash, and it was in Mississippi?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Really?
And they've got these big marble...
no kidding.
Yeah.
There's like a statue there?
Yeah.
I mean, look, obviously that was a horrific,
and you
terrible...
can sign in a book, and there's American flags all over it.
Okay, but obviously, look, that was terrible, horrific. Ronnie Van Zant, is Ronnie the brother or is Ronnie the main one?
I don't claim to be an expert on Leonard
Kevin
Skinner.
is right. Look that up real quick.
I think
I like their music.
Wasn't he the singer?
Yeah, that's what it is. He's the original singer, right? Because the brother is the singer now. So obviously a phenomenally talented group, and it was horrific and terrible what happened. But this is no more Leonard Skinner than I Am the Bob and Tom Show, right? Like, I mean, it's just like it's just not. It's not
the same.
I mean, it's not even. It's not even what Foreigner's doing, where there's some like the main people. Isn't Mick Jones still in Foreigner? Isn't he still in the band? So even though it's not Lou Gramm, it's not
one member. You think they're just cashing in on the name?
It's not even Styx, where it's at least it's still Tommy Shaw and J.D. Young, and one of the Panazzos is still there.
They're approaching the 50th anniversary of their debut album, by the way.
Now ZZ Top is two of the three are still there, so I guess that's okay, even though there was only three. And by the way, the best part about ZZ Top was they had beards, except for the guy named Beard, who didn't have a beard.
Right.
That was my favorite part. Anyway, sorry, I got totally off base on that.
Also trending is Joe Biden. He was led off a stage by a young girl after he delivered a speech yesterday at a Toys for Tots event with the United States Marine Corps Reserve in Virginia. He asked the little girl, "Which way do we go?" And she took his hand and led him off stage.
Is that wrong?
Well, I'm
Does
wondering.
that portray weakness from the president?
I'm wondering if this is how they're getting around him getting lost on stage.
Oh yeah,
You know,
having little girls.
He doesn't know which way to exit. Well, it kind of went with the Toys for Tots campaign,
Yeah.
but it's actually not a bad idea.
Just let little children drag our president around by the hand.
No, have someone on stage to show him which way to exit.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Also trending, Betty White's house. Do you remember talking about this?
Yes.
After she passed away,
Was sold or was for sale?
It was for sale, and it sold for over $10 million.
Wow.
It was purchased, and now it's torn down.
Wait, what?
Somebody bought Betty White's house just so they could tear it down. Bought it for $10 million, over $10 million.
So they basically bought the land for $10 million.
And it was a tear down, they claim, because it's no longer there. The only thing left is where the fireplace was.
This is why. So as many people know, I bought a house next to my father, so I keep an eye on him. But also, when he is either for whatever reason no longer desires to live there,
you're going to have two properties?
I will be able to take that house over, because that way my family will be able to ensure that someday it becomes the state historical landmark that it should be, the house that Rob Kendall grew up in, because I don't want to risk someone just to spite me buying that property and tearing it down.
Yeah, you have to get a state marker there.
My whole goal is to buy every house on the street I live, and then I'm going to build a giant wall around it. I'm going to compound it.
And then you could call it Rob Kendall Way.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we got this letter in the mail, and it was actually addressed to Kevin, care of Kendall and Casey, and it's been driving him crazy all morning long because he doesn't know what is in the letter.
Should we open it when we come back?
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. The suspense will end soon, Kevin. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a beautiful piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop than Diamonds Direct, where celebrating memorable moments is our specialty. This holiday season, we've put together our most impressive selection of can't-miss gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands for every taste and every price range. And don't worry about higher prices and high interest rates. At Diamonds Direct, we've got your back with our guaranteed best value pricing and 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. That's right, zero interest financing. So that $5,000 Eternity Band is just over $138 a month. With this special offer, everything's affordable. So come to Diamonds Direct. Let our experts help you choose that perfect showstopper gift for this holiday season. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our all-new online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204. Online at CordellCordell.com.
There's only one company that meets the gold standard in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy. Hey, it's Rob, and I'm here with Darren Andrews. Darren, people are coming from all over the world to We Grow Hair Indy to grow their hair back.
Hey Rob, it's great to be here. Yes, they are. And Rob, as you well know, we are very proud of the technology and the results at We Grow Hair Indy. We Grow Hair Indy is one of only 2 places in the entire US that offers both the Artist Robotic FUE and our trademark procedure, multi-unit hair grafting.
We Grow Hair Indy filled in my crown area and restored the hair on the top of my head. Call 888-724-5129 for a free evaluation. That's 888-724-5129 and grow your hair back. The one company that has the best technology and results. WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard in hair restoration.
Christine said, I highly recommend this company. They did my garage floor and I absolutely love it. I'm planning on having them do my patio in the spring. Don't wait. Call them today, 317-751-9070. That's the number for Galaxy Concrete Coating. They can turn any concrete surface into a much better space. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them 317-751-9070.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. E-waste piling up? Visit tech-recyclers.com. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Crunching the numbers. It's sunny and 36 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The latest inflation report is promising.
The month over month on the headline number coming in up 0.1%, 0.1%. The estimate was 0.3%, so that's a little bit weaker than economists' expectations. As for core, month over month, coming in 0.2% month over month. And again, the estimate was 0.3% there. So that's actually a little bit weaker than expected. Going down to year over year core, and this is the number that the federally looks at, that came in at 6% on the nose.
Fox's Cheryl Cassoni. Mississippi State head football coach Mike Leach has died. He was 61 years old. The school announced he passed away last night after suffering what reports said was a massive heart attack. He had led the Bulldogs to an 8-4 season in a bowl game against Illinois. Leach was named the team's head coach back in 2020. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Adding to the fam? Start your prenatal journey on the right foot with Franciscan Health. We're here to guide you every step of the way, before, during, and after your new baby arrives. Each of our hospitals is equipped with spacious private birthing rooms, state-of-the-art technology, on-site lactation consultants, and a compassionate team of experts. You're going to be amazing at this mommy thing. We just know it. Go to franciscanhealth.org/labor and delivery to schedule your first appointment today.
Food insecurity issues are at the center of many families' conversations. Nearly 800,000 Hoosiers and 1 in 6 children go hungry each night. Indiana's pig farmers are committed to giving back to their communities by donating millions of pounds of pork to local food banks, church pantries, and feeding programs. Pig farmers are committed to raising a safe, nutritious product that's available to the tables of families in Indiana communities. Learn more at porkcares.org. Brought to you by Indiana's pig farmers. Express the heartwarming message of Christmas this year and give her a diamond engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Yeah! Just let it go for a second.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just 1 second. I was mentoring Kevin before the show. Okay, all right. That's fine. No, pull it back up. I told Kevin before the show that this should be the spiel that you give to any woman whose heart you're trying to win.
2 hearts are better than
2
one.
2 hearts are better than one. Mm-hmm. 2 hearts, girl. Get the job done.
It's very wise.
I don't know if I would listen to Rob Kendall for your love mentor,
Yeah,
Kevin.
I think all of my my mentor advice that I've gotten from him, it all comes straight from Bruce Springsteen.
You know, Kevin, I had the pleasure, as did you, of meeting Kevin's parents over the weekend.
I know, we both did. They're
were-
so nice.
They were at Radiothon. Kevin's band, Uno.Gold on Instagram was playing. They did a fabulous cover of Feliz Navidad. And then afterwards, we went to the Sully's Grill there at Sullivan's Hardware. And
I actually bought Kevin's mom a beer.
yeah, Kevin's mom was pounding some brews and having a good time. And
We heard all sorts of stuff about
And
Kevin.
Kevin's dad told me, I don't know if you heard this, Kevin, he's very excited about the mentorship program that we have going on. And he feels like you are growing as a person in infinite leaps and bounds since we've started this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
promising.
Yeah. You go ahead and you take professional advice from him, but the love advice, I don't know. Do you want to get to Kevin's letter,
Well,
or
let's-
do you want to do something else?
No, let's
first?
go ahead and do this.
Okay.
So Kevin, by the way, we were going to do voicemails, but you people did not perform to the level, and this is why we don't do live phone calls. We've said the airtime here is so valuable that we cannot risk just turning live phones over to people. And this today was a reason why. There was just, you people were terrible on the phones. There was nothing of any interest. And I said, if you people are not going to up your game, we are not going to give you the airtime. So the onus is on you guys tomorrow to do a better job with the phone calls.
Yeah, 317-684-8444 is the phone number. But Kevin did receive this letter in the mail. Kevin, care of Kendall and Casey, WIBC. There is no return label on it. We don't know who it's from.
And why is it dropped on my desk?
Because they know
Kevin has a desk.
That is true.
Nobody knows where you... Oh, yeah, you do
I've
have
got a desk right next to
And
Matt's
again, for the
office.
record, I do not open the mail. What did I do, Casey, when I came in?
You gave it to me.
I do not open the mail. If you are going to think you're going to get me by sending something in the mail, you are just going to hurt innocent civilians in this process because I do not open the mail. It also, I had pondered because I brought this in before you came in and I looked it over with Allison and I thought, well, maybe it is a love letter of some sort. However, the writing appears very Kaczynski-esque. And so I don't think it is like...
You're familiar with Kaczynski's handwriting?
Kevin and I were pondering what might be in there. You know, could it be a lottery ticket? Could it be nuclear codes? Could it be a love letter of some sort?
You have really built this up.
Could it be, what is it, those boudoir photography?
It's nothing quite so
So I have no
salacious.
idea what's in this. What?
It's a 3x5 index card. And it simply says, bumper music suggestion. That's it. Carole King, It Might As Well Rain Until September.
So they sent a letter just to say that?
Yeah.
Can't they just send a message online?
There it is. Bumper music suggestion, Carole King.
I got to say, I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Wait. You're telling me somebody went to the effort of writing it down, putting a stamp. What is a stamp now? 60 cents? 55 cents? What is a 58 cents? What is a U.S. postage now?
I'm trying to read what it
Do they
says.
even say on the forever stamps anymore? Probably not.
It doesn't. No, it's a forever stamp. No. And it was mailed from Indianapolis. It has the Indianapolis.
We have to,
Mark
that
on it.
person, next segment, Kevin, whatever that song is,
You've got to find it.
you've got to find it and play it
Yeah,
for that
'cause they
person.
did go through the trouble.
That is
to-
an incredible amount of effort
Mm-hmm.
to hear a song that you could just go right now on whatever streaming platform you desire and just hit play.
Well, you know what? We're going to make their dream come true.
He's like, I've got it queued up. I'm ready to go.
Playing all the hits you want to hear, 93.1 WIBC.
Carole King, It Might As Well Rain Until September. All right. Let's talk about Todd Young. So the Cass County Republican Committee sent a letter of censure to denounce him after he voted in favor of the Respect for Marriage Act.
Yes.
A federal bill. Biden's supposed to sign it today.
Yes. Todd Young is phenomenal at championing for things that Biden loves. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Of all the
I do recall a picture of Todd Young standing right behind President Biden while he was signing the CHIPS Act.
And so I am torn on this because on one hand, kudos to the Cass County Republicans for censuring Todd Young for any reason whatsoever. I mean, but then there's another part of me that says, okay, so the 11 trillion added to the national debt and the hundreds of billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse during the PPP stuff and the repeated siding with Democrats on spending bills. And, I mean, we could be here for 9 years and still be talking about egregious things Todd Young has done. That wasn't enough to get a censure, but the Marriage Act was where you drew the line.
Yeah, they said your decision elicited feelings of anger, disbelief, and even a sense of betrayal. We're not just fiscal conservatives, but social conservatives as well.
Well, there's nothing about Todd Young that is remotely conservative. But look, kudos to Cass County Republicans, because I was told we're going to hold him accountable, and so far they're the only people trying to hold him accountable. Now, Todd Young's going to laugh at this and use it as toilet paper when it shows up at his office, but that's what Todd Young does with all conservatives, because they know the vast majority of people, I guarantee you, the vast majority of people who were involved in crafting this letter still probably voted for the guy for U.S. Senate, and that's what he cares about. Now, I am still waiting for an explanation on why Todd Young thinks the federal government should have any business in marriage whatsoever. Why do we need, and nobody's explained this to me, like where in the Constitution, where in the enumerated powers, and Ethan and I had a long conversation about this, and nobody could point to it. The enumerated powers are the 18-ish things that the federal government is supposed to do. Coinage, military, whatever. I have scanned that high and low, left and right, back and forth, and I don't see marriage in there anywhere. And yet we keep applauding people because they're doing things that the government is not supposed to do because we like the thing that they did.
So it's interesting. This letter went on to say that Senator Young knows we are displeased with his voting record.
Oh, sure.
We feel we're not being heard. We feel left out. Our voices have been heard. Our voices need to be heard, and Senator Young needs to hear them. And they also said that they want other counties to follow suit as well in censure. A little slap on the wrist, because that's really all that's going to happen.
At least someone's trying to hold him accountable. I was told there would be accountability.
The accountability meeting apparently met, Rob, and they decided to do that. Okay, let's quickly talk about this FTX founder, Sam Bankman-Fried. He was arrested in the Bahamas last night. Interesting. He was supposed to testify today, and then he got picked up last night before he could do that.
In front of the U.S. House, right? Who he gave a whole bunch of money to, who he helped fund most of their re-elections.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here is the question. I have multiple questions on this. And you know me, Casey, I realize by asking this, I'm going to be called a radical right-wing, democracy-hating semi-fascist. But the timing on the arrest, hours before he's supposed to appear in front of the U.S. House of Representatives to talk about what's going on as it relates to this little criminal empire that he was overseeing over there. And, hey, you know, some logical questions like how much money did Ukraine invest with you? Where did that money come from? What did you do with the money? How did a little goober like you give whatever it was, $50 million? Why did you give it all to Democrats? Right before he's going to have to answer those questions. Well, what do you know? Now he's arrested and he's, I guess, not testifying.
Yeah. The United States is pursuing criminal charges against him. The Bahamas also pursuing regulatory and criminal investigations.
It's got to be pretty bad if the Bahamas is getting involved, right? I mean, isn't that the premise of the Bahamas is you do as you see fit over here?
Right. Well, we do have that, extradition agreement with them. The federal government is pursuing wire and bank fraud charges against Sam Bankman-Fried. He could face life in prison without the possibility of release. But they shut him up just in time. By arresting him, they're kind of saving him.
Well, and it'll be interesting, too. Does he get the Bernie Madoff treatment where we're going to pariah you and you get a life sentence? Because typical white-collar crimes usually do not result in the sort of Bernie Madoff-esque dealio, in terms of sentencing. But in this case, it's so egregious. But he may Epstein himself. Who knows at this point?
He seems like the type of guy who would talk to.
Oh, sure. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there are any number of ways this thing could play out, and absolutely none of them would surprise me.
Yeah. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. We've got Hammer joining us next.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Biggest stories of the day in Indy. Don Fisher, Tuesdays with Tony. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. We'll talk to you this afternoon.
Sooner or later, we're all forced to face the fact that the world may not revolve around us. But if it's any consolation, there's a health network that does. It serves everyone in East Central Indiana, and it's called Hancock Health. From a hospital named one of America's safest to wellness centers supporting lifelong well-being, our more than 30 facilities were created with the idea of making healthcare all about you. See every way we're making health possible at hancockhealth.org.
Thanks, Bob. Well, today's forecast is a chiller. Looks like we can see record lows in the living room and the dining room, while the kitchen is going to stay cold until late in the evening. All 3 bedrooms will be freezing, with only occasional warmth from the fireplace to provide little relief.
Living room turning into an icebox? We'll be right there. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we're
Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourheatandair.com. Each location independently owned and operated. Licensed in their respective state or county.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Kevin Reinhardt says this family-owned business has a lot of pride in their work.
Danny started the business back in 1986 here in Danville, and we take a lot of pride in the town of Danville. With a lot of repeat customers, people that I've known basically all my life. And it's just nice to continue to do the service that they trust for over 30 years.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Is your home really ready for the holiday season? As you're putting up your Christmas decorations this year, pay attention to your home siding. There are lots of new vibrant siding colors out there, and new siding can give your home a much-needed facelift. Moss Roofing offers James Hardy siding that comes with a 15-year warranty. It's low maintenance, and it will give your home the durability it deserves this winter and many winters to come. Not only will you get great curb appeal from James Hardy siding, you won't have to think about the siding on your home for a long, long time. And that's a pretty great gift for the holiday season. Moss Roofing is a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of serving Central Indiana. Moss Roofing experts offer residential and commercial roofing repairs and replacements, gutters, and insulation services. Call Moss Roofing today. 317-527-4393. 317-527-4393. Or visit mossroofing.com. That's MOSS. mossroofing.com. mossroofing.com.
This Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, please consider checking out my friends at Life Church. Life Church is awesome. They're warm. They're welcoming. They would so love the opportunity to meet you and your family this Sunday. And Life Church, if you live in Central Indiana, is pretty easy to find. They've got campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to wonderful online services. Learn more at lifechurchin.com.
Downtown Indy, dressed in holiday style and adorned with bright lights and holiday sights all season long. Where friends visit Monument Circle with its festive lighting, audio and video presentations every night of the week. Make new memories while enjoying award-winning restaurants just steps away from your favorite attractions, sporting events, and performances. Come celebrate the season where it all began, downtown. Go to downtownindy.org/holidays for all the info. That's downtownindy.org/holidays.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
Kevin!
The fire is
You're supposed to play that lady's request!
Hammer asked me to play a Christmas song.
That's right.
Oh, it's the Hammer and Casey show.
I walk into your show and I'm the boss. How does that make you feel, Robbie?
This is his time.
He's like Pitbull. He's going to fall on top of yo girl.
Listen, if we're going to go Christmas here, I love a little Rat Pack here.
Yeah.
Like, fewer things make me smile than good old-fashioned Vegas-style Rat Pack.
Yeah.
If I could jump in the hot tub time machine and go back to any era, I want to go back to old Las Vegas, downtown, Frank, Dean, Sammy, all playing at the
Stardust.
The Stardust.
Yeah.
That's when dudes were dudes back then. Serious question, though. Have you finished or even started your Christmas shopping, Casey?
I have started. I haven't quite finished, no.
Okay, and Rob, question for you. Have you ever bought a gift for anyone other than yourself?
I have already bought my Christmas present for my wife this year. She wanted to go see Matt Walsh, who's going to be downtown, and I'm going to subject myself to going to that.
All right. Well, if you're looking for last-minute gift ideas,
yes.
Hammer and Nigel Productions, we've got a board game out, and I think you guys will really enjoy this. Move over Monopoly. This Christmas, there's only one item that can bring the whole family together. Hammer and Nigel Products presents the Hammer and Nigel Show, the board game. Just set up the game board, roll the dice, and follow the instructions on the corresponding cards. Like this.
Look, Dad, you landed on Lewd Nude Due to the News. I sure did, Jimmy. Now here, help me get these underwear off.
It's perfect for children of all ages and ideal for family game night.
Okay, Mom, you landed on Booze News.
I love you. Now pass Mama that case of Old Milwaukee.
And if you order in the next 10 minutes, we'll even throw in another game for free. Elizabeth Warren's Twister.
Left foot red. Left foot red.
The Hammer and Nigel Show board game. Order today. That's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
It is.
Did I hear John Herrick in there?
Maybe.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You might have heard some people who don't work here anymore. Hey, you happened to overhear, Kevin and I were mentioning in the last segment, the little, now well-known mentorship program that we have where every so often we'll go pound a few brewskis together and I'll tell Kevin not to make the same mistakes that I made.
Right. And I feel like I want a piece of this action.
Right?
Because in a roundabout way, I kind of feel like a mentor to Rob.
Yeah, that's right. You're the grand mentor here.
Right. So these are the things that I've always believed in, Kevin. You can take these with you, things that I've told Rob. Number one, if it feels good, do it. You can never go wrong with that philosophy. If it feels good, do it. Rule number 2, always remember rule number 1.
Yeah.
Rule number 3, the following phrases will only get you in trouble. I've got a plan, give me the keys, and I'm not afraid. Those were the things that used to be uttered in my college house where I was the tame one.
Yeah. Think about the people you lived with that you were the upstanding citizen in your college experience.
They made Bluto from the Delta House look like a choir boy.
Yeah.
So those were the things you want to avoid. And lastly, and this is really important, when it comes time to trying to look cool or maybe impressing that certain lady, no matter what you're doing, everything looks more badass when you're slowly pouring a Colt 45.
Yeah,
those are my tips.
Okay, so here is also a follow-up question because you and I have had this debate for years. Is Kevin, you're 27, is that right? Is 27 too old to wear a backwards ball cap and broad ripple?
Boy, you're right there on the fringe.
I have an answer for that, yes.
Yeah, I'm leaning yes.
Yeah,
but
I do not do backwards ball caps.
It kind of depends on how you look, too. Like Kevin, if you put your hat on backwards, I think there'd be too much forehead going on.
Yeah.
Like if Peyton Manning had a hat on backwards, it would look like the, IMAX.
Sure.
So, but there is a cutoff. There is a cutoff, 1, for being out and partying in broad ripple, and 2, hat on backward in broad ripple. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Now, I wanted to jump into something else you guys were talking about, too.
Yeah.
Did I hear that somebody bought Betty White's house and then tore it the hell down?
Tore it down?
Yes.
$10 million.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin in the movie Happy Gilmore wanted to buy Gilmore's grandma's house and then threatened to burn it down and urinate on the ashes. I'm telling you, this is a straight up power move by Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, why would you pay a premium? I mean, you're clearly paying not only a premium for the house itself, but I'm guessing there's some sort of celebrity premium involved in that. Why would you pay a premium to is the land that valuable?
Apparently.
And the Golden Girls are seeing sort of a resurgence because of all the reruns that are on like Hulu and the streaming services. My wife loves the Golden Girls. She laughs at it now.
She watch it all the time too?
Yeah.
We've gotten into the Golden Palace, which was the follow-up to the Golden Girls, and I maintain I'm about 3 episodes in. Have you ever seen this, Casey?
Not the Golden
The
Palace.
Golden Palace was when Dorothy
B. Arthur
left. It was the other 3. They bought a hotel in Miami, and Don Cheadle runs the hotel, and Cheech Marin is the chef. I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm saying this is every bit as good as the Golden Girls.
Give it time.
Oh, that's too bad.
There's a reason why it only lasted 1 season. Like, there's like this young kid who has no purpose on the show.
Sure.
And they pull a Happy Days with him on about halfway through the season. You never see him again.
Oh, he just disappears.
Yeah, I don't know if he went out got lost in the ocean in Miami. I don't know what's going on, but the show gets progressively worse as it goes on.
But who is tearing down Betty White's house?
Why don't you make that like some sort of Betty White museum or like a Golden Girls theme? Because then it becomes like the Christmas Story house where people want to come by and get selfies there and look around, make it like a museum. You make your money back eventually.
I know real estate is expensive in the greater, where was it, Beverly Hills or wherever she was from, but why would you do that?
It was marked as a tear down when it was sold too.
What?
Like, you're buying this knowing you're going to tear it down. Apparently there was one room in this house that was just full of stuffed animals.
I bet it was the family of B. Arthur because B. Arthur and Betty White did not get along. Yeah. They actually hated each other when they were filming Golden Girls.
You think B. Arthur's the one who bought it just to tear it down?
I believe it. She looks at the type of vindictive person who would probably have, it in her will. Whoever, is surviving, buy Betty White's house and tear it the bleep down.
When I watched Golden Girls as a younger person, I always thought that they looked very old. They looked like grandmas, right?
Right.
I'm that age now.
Well, like the girls from Sex and the City now are the same age as the Golden Girls when they started that series.
Yeah.
But I will also say this, and I'm not too proud to admit it. When I was younger, I'd look at that show and be like, man, those broads are old. Now, 3 out of 4.
No way.
Maybe 3 out of 4.
You're leaving Estelle off that list, aren't you?
No, I'm leaving B. Arthur off the list.
I did want to make a big announcement here for the show, and he's announced this publicly, so I think it's safe to say that Chris Davis, our news director, has announced he's accepted another job and is leaving us, and that's terrible. But I told Matt Hiblin, our boss, I am putting in for the news director job here at WIBC because I think that would be a huge step for journalism, and nobody would cover the news like me as the news director.
What if they bring in like Keith Olbermann?
What's coming up this afternoon?
Fish. Don Fisher, the voice of the Hoosiers. We'll talk about the passing of Mike Leach, coaching great, and then Tuesdays with Tony.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, when we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, fastest way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Pierce Jewelers has the perfect sparkle to put under the tree this Christmas. So don't be a Grinch. Spoil your loved one with a little blue box from Pierce Jewelers in Carmel.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a new head coach for the Purdue Boilermakers, plus where Suzanne Crouch wants to take the state. That and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
He says his economic plan is working. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Make no mistake, prices are still too high. We have a lot more work to do, but things are getting better, headed in the right direction.
President Biden, after the report this morning showing tamer inflation, consumer prices rose just 0.1% last month from October, 7.1% higher than a year ago.
The fifth month in a row where annual inflation has fallen in the United States.
On Wall Street, stocks are rising, but not nearly as high as an hour ago. The Dow is gaining 235 points. One reason inflation is tamer, the price of gas is down more than $0.50 in the past month. AAA's national average for regular at $3.24 a gallon, almost a dime less than a year ago. The new CEO at FTX, cleaning up the mess at the now bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange, is testifying at a House hearing right now. John Raja said the FTX collapse
appears to stem from absolute concentration of control in the hands of a small group of grossly inexperienced and unsophisticated individuals who failed to implement virtually any of the systems or controls that are necessary for a company entrusted with other people's money or assets.
Ex-CEO Sam Bankman-Fried was supposed to testify virtually. Instead, he's in court now in the Bahamas.
Bankman-Fried was arrested yesterday in the Bahamas and now faces extradition back to the U.S. The Justice Department is charging the former cryptocurrency CEO with several counts of fraud and money laundering.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The Securities and Exchange Commission filed a separate case against him today, accusing Bankman-Fried of defrauding investors. Winter is in full force early. From Montana to Wyoming, South Dakota, Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas. It's a blizzard there today. The same storm system that dumped feet of snow in mountainous areas of California. This man's in Soda Springs.
It's a struggle every year, and the struggle came early this year. So we've been shoveling.
And tornadoes did damage in Oklahoma and Texas. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A new coach for the Boilers. It's sunny and 38 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. His name is Ryan Walters. He's the new head football coach at Purdue University, announced in the last hour on Twitter. He comes to Purdue from Illinois, where he was the offensive coordinator for the Fighting Illini. Walters replaces Jeff Brom, who left Purdue to take the head coaching job at Louisville. The governor's mansion, for one, is where Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch wants to go, but she also wants to take Hoosiers to a better quality of life.
I'm proud of what this administration has accomplished, but we can accomplish even more. The next chapter in Indiana's history is going to be about quality of life. And I have a vision to get there.
Talking to Hammer and Nigel, as Lieutenant Governor working with Governor Holcomb, she says that Indiana has become a better place to do business and that quality of life is the next step. She and Senator Mike Braun are among the big names on the GOP ballot for governor in 2024. Some of the low pay may have to do with coronavirus. Chris Davis reports on the strike by musicians in Fort Wayne.
5 hours of negotiations couldn't make it happen Monday. The Fort Wayne Philharmonic Orchestra is still on strike.
strike, meaning some concerts could be delayed.
Orchestras across the country have returned to normal operations. They're presenting concerts to their communities, to their audiences.
Campbell McDonald, chairperson, explaining to reporters last week when the strike began that their pay has not returned yet to pre-pandemic levels.
The Fort Wayne Philharmonic has the resources to do the same.
They want an 8% raise and to protect 3 jobs that are in jeopardy. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas at $3.19 a gallon on average in Indiana today, says Gas Buddy. Gas prices have been declining for a month straight.
It was stunning, but I was able to look over. I saw exactly who it was. I recognized who it was. There's no doubt in my mind.
Ronald Sexton of the Bob and Tom Show is blaming his girlfriend's ex-partner for filling his van full of holes Sunday morning at around 2 on the east side. He tells our news gathering partners at Wish TV that the guy confronted him last year. The man has still not been arrested. I'm Kurt Darling on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
A surprise proposal under the stars. A diamond ring symbolizing your love. A promise to inspire, respect, and love one another. Visit Chain Company to create a treasure that will hold meaning forever. We design our engagement rings in-house, so any style you choose will be a unique creation. We know a ring comes to life when it's set with a center stone that speaks to you. Chain Company offers the largest selection of center stones, natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, as well as natural gemstones including rubies, sapphires, peach morganite, aquamarine, and amethyst. We sell our center stones loose, so you can compare stones side by side and select the one that's right for you, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. A jewelry consultant will work with you to help you maximize your budget. Our free lifetime warranty even covers the center stone. Make this the holiday you'll both treasure forever.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 13th. It is 6 minutes after 11. With Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, it's Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels, and thank you so much for listening. And we start off with an Elon Musk update, or rather, is it a Karine Jean-Pierre update? She said that his 5-letter tweet was dangerous. He was attacking Anthony Fauci, where he said that his pronouns were prosecute/Fauci.
It is fascinating to see how well the left organizes in onslaught. I think that's the phrase I would use. Organizes in onslaught. Like they mobilize, and I don't know if it's just instinctive, because oftentimes the left are pretty vile people, but they are able to organize in onslaught in an almost instinctive fashion, and they're doing it again on Elon Musk. And they are not for free speech, right? The left is not for free speech. They are for them controlling the narrative. Mm-hmm. And in the sense of Twitter, they have lost control of the narrative, not because they aren't still allowed to speak or be heard. The left is still allowed to do everything it was allowed to do a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. They are still allowed to say, do, think, whatever. Mm-hmm. They're mad because the right is now allowed to play on an even playing field. And this is what we have talked about in this time slot for years and years and years. Liberalism depends on, the lifeblood of liberalism is choking off dissent, because when liberalism has to be explained, it quickly falls on its face because it's wholly ridiculous.
Well, this is what we were talking about earlier with Ronna McDaniel and the RNC chairwoman, how the Republicans have got to get their message together to be able to compete against the liberals, because you just said it. They have their narrative down. And it's like when one of them says it, boom, they all just repeat it over and over again. And in this case, they need someone to attack because Elon Musk, since he took over Twitter, he's releasing all of these Twitter files. 5.0 dropped last night. So they've got to go after him, and they do it very unified.
Yeah, that's a great point. I had a lunch yesterday with a prominent member of the Indianapolis media who will not be named because this person is non-political, and I would not want to subject this person to the scorn and shame that would be accompanied with knowing they hang out with me of their own volition in their free time. But everybody would know who this person is. And we were actually meeting, talking with somebody who is pondering running for public office that is one of this person's friends. And they asked me, hey, would you be willing to offer this person some advice on they've never run for public office before. It is a somewhat high profile office. What should this person be expecting when they get in? What are the keys to winning, whatever. And what I told this person, it's interesting we're having this conversation now because it's largely what I told this person yesterday. I said the number one mistake that new people to public office make is they try to answer every single question on all their literature and everything, and it turns into like 0.8 font and nobody can read it and it just gets lost in the shuffle. I said, right or wrong, politics is a 30-second game. And what I mean by 30-second game is from the time someone gets your message on the door hanger to when they throw it in the trash, you got 15 to 30 seconds for them to look at that, and that's what they're going to think of when they think of you. And so you have to pick 3 or 4 things. And this is true whether you're running for a local mayor's office or you're running for the governor or you're running for the president or the Congress or the Senate or whatever. Effective candidates pick 3 or 4 effective things, and they never get off those things. And in the sense, the left does that far better than the right does. They hammer home the narratives, no matter how ridiculous, and they say, we will ride these things until the horse doesn't run anymore. And largely because they are obsessively dedicated to those messages, no matter how ridiculous they are. Their messaging around abortion is completely ridiculous, but they stay on it. They don't get off of it. They have complicit, partners in the media who push it. And it was clearly, effective. So it is interesting how much better the left is at that than the Republicans are.
Well, you know what? How about inflation and the term transitory?
Right.
That's a great example of it. We heard from Biden and then Kamala and then Janet Yellen, and it just went up and down. Oh, it's transitory. Is that the word we're going to use? And then they just parroted it. But it was clear and it was consistent.
Right. Remember, this is free advice to any person running for public office. You will win or lose your election, especially if it's a somewhat local election, largely based on whatever topics you choose to talk about, whatever the 3 or 4 things are. And if you choose 3 or 4 good things and you don't get off of them, you will have a pretty decent shot of winning that election. Now, let's play Corinne Jean-Pierre. She is very angry at Elon Musk for being dangerous for tweeting about Fauci.
So, look, we've been very clear about this. These attacks, these personal attacks that we have been seeing are dangerous on Dr. Fauci and other public health professionals as well. They are disgusting and they are divorced from reality. And we will continue to call that out and be very clear about that. Again, these are incredibly dangerous, these personal attacks that we are seeing. Dr. Fauci has served under 7 Republican and Democratic presidents. We cannot forget that. He has given his almost entire career to civil service, as a public servant. His work on infectious disease from HIV/AIDS to COVID has saved countless lives. And, it's unfortunate that he has, we are fortunate, I should say, that he has devoted his career and his life and his exceptional talent to America's public health. And that's what should be discussed right now. That's what we should be thankful to him about. And again, these are incredibly dangerous and should be called out. I'll leave it there.
So think about that. What is the narrative around Fauci from the left? He's a man of science. He's given his life to science and to the American people. Yeah, but he's failed miserably. Nope, he's a man of science. He trusts the science. He's given his life to the American people. No matter what question you ask them around Fauci, it is, he is a man of science. He's given his life to science. He's given his life to the American people.
Same thing over and over, even though he advocated for school closures, vaccine mandates, and masking, and he asked people to spend time alone on the holidays. Do you remember that last Christmas?
It doesn't matter how wrong he was. was. It doesn't matter how wrong they were. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It does not matter. And that is the importance of messaging. And also huge benefit. They have, as we said, willing partners in the mainstream national media who will totally cover for them and push that narrative. But they do not get off the narrative.
Yeah, well, and now the marching orders are that Elon Musk is dangerous because he's expressing his opinion, that you're not allowed to do that anymore if it goes against what they want. Okay, now we mentioned Janet Yellen, so let's talk about her really quick. She is now predicting a major inflation cool down.
Oh.
She was on CBS's 60 Minutes, and during this interview, she's very, very positive about what's coming in the future. Let's take a listen.
I think we'll see a substantial reduction in inflation in the year ahead. It's going to take a year. Well, I believe by the end of next year, you will see much lower inflation if there's not an unanticipated shock.
Okay, I'm going to pull a total Chris Farley right now.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Do you remember the skit where Chris Farley was meeting with Paul McCartney and he kept saying, you remember that? Remember that? Yeah. Okay, do you remember when Yellen downplayed concerns about inflation in March of 21 and she said it was just a small risk of inflation? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was transitory.
Yeah, do you remember when she said, yeah, Biden, go ahead and do your $1.9 trillion COVID stimulus package?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Do you remember when gas prices surged to record highs?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Do you remember when in June of this year she came out and she admitted that she was wrong about inflation?
Oh, no, I don't remember that, but she did that.
Yeah, she did that.
Really?
Yeah, she did that.
That did not get quite the coverage.
She did that.
I would have thought the media would have been all over that. That's.
Do you remember in July of this year when she said inflation was unacceptably high and told the Fed?
Yeah.
You remember
it's
that?
the Fed's fault.
Yeah.
Not the federal government, but the Federal Reserve's fault. Yeah. So
why would we believe her now?
Well, and this is what's fascinating, right? So the stock market is up today on news that inflation increased 7.1% from a year ago. Think about where we're at in American society. We have been so poorly governed that when inflation is 7.1%, because there is a great chance for the average person, your wages did not increase anywhere near 7.1%, that people do a big old happy dance and it skyrockets the stock market. Okay, great for Wall Street. Doesn't do anything for you, though, because unless your wage increased 7.1%, you're still losing ground on buying stuff. And that's with gas prices subsiding because of the economy cratering.
And you know what? Somebody was commenting yesterday in the YouTube chat room that can you imagine Casey looking up inflation every single day? Yes. Yes, it's what we talk about. It is still the top thing going on in the country. The price of your groceries hasn't gone down. So go ahead and celebrate the lower gas prices. We'll take what we can get. I mean, we have to. Yeah. It's all we're left with.
All right, Casey, when we come back, need just a couple minutes. It's half your show, so you can veto this if you want. But, I really feel like this would be very important. I need a couple of minutes. There's a big event coming up on Thursday. The chuckleheads that have destroyed my little town are like little piggies at a trough with their snouts in the trough trying to suck a bunch of money for themselves at the expense of the taxpayers. And I'm going to need some audience participation to try to help save a little community on the west side of Indianapolis.
All right, we're going to head to Brownsburg coming up from 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I have argued on television and in other places that until we put an end to illegal immigration, there should be no other conversations that take place. You can't be offering up amnesty until you start with, we don't allow illegal immigration in the United States. Everything else is a non-starter.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday? Crew Car Wash books are on everyone's list. And right now, buy 4 Ultimate Washes and get 2 free. Available online or at any Crew Car Wash location.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending.
NMLS 114937.
Protecting Hoosiers' health and budget is important. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield can help you do both. 9 out of 10 people in their individual and family health plans qualify for financial help, and some even qualify for $0 premiums. They'll help you find affordable care with no-cost preventive care, $0 commonly prescribed drugs, and free virtual care visits. To learn more, visit Anthem.com. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc., independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Get ready for holiday feast season with Pepto-Bismol.
Uncle Derek's here with his famous fried turkey. Hey, Aunt Mary brought the mac and cheese. Donna's here with the potato salad.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for unexpected stomach upsets. So enjoy the holidays. Pepto has you covered, no matter who made the potato salad.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Jewelry, rings, diamonds, and watches are just a few possible Christmas gifts at Pierce Jewelers. Let them help you celebrate that special moment with your loved one. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
I gotta tell you, I can't stand that guy.
And Casey Daniels.
I'm in love, I don't care who knows it.
On 93 WIBC.
All the fun I'll have while you're so far away.
This was the request.
Yeah, I know.
It's your Carole King.
I don't need sunny skies for things I have to do.
So if you're just tuning in,
I stay home the whole
last hour, someone in a index card sent a letter to Kevin, like a post office mailed letter to Kevin, our fabulous producer.
Bumper music suggestion.
Requesting this.
Yeah. Carole King. It might as well rain in September.
So
Until
there you
September.
go.
Yeah,
I hope that
there it
person
is.
was listening. I hope they found happiness.
I actually added that to. I have a playlist that has a bunch of music from the '60s.
Oh,
and I
that's
added it. So
people don't realize the sort of effort that Kevin puts into this program. And here is just real quick. I'm just gonna give you 3 songs, Casey. Hot take, Kevin. You can play along with this if you want to. You got to name the Carole King greatest hit. You got a friend. It's too late. I feel the earth move.
The biggest hit?
Yeah. What is the best? What is the best Carole King song? You got a friend. It's too late. I feel the earth move.
You've got a friend.
You've got a friend.
Is it?
Yeah.
You talking the most popular?
No, I'm just saying, like, what is the best, right?
I feel the earth move.
Yeah.
It's got some tempo.
I mean, and I think we can all agree that Tapestry, which is where all those songs are off of, hot take here, strong consideration for the Mount Rushmore of greatest albums of all time.
Yep, I would agree with that.
That is an outlier.
A lot of people would say that.
If you ever get in a conversation about Mount Rushmore of greatest albums of all time, and you want to seem like a sophisticated musical connoisseur, you throw Tapestry out there and dare someone to vote against a woman.
I think that would go on the Mount Rushmore of songwriters.
But Tapestry is her. It's not just songwriters. That's her.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm saying that I think she could have 2 categories then.
Was she the one who was sleeping with James Taylor?
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, she probably just
Hence,
stole.
You've got a friend.
She probably just. Oh, that's right. That's about him, isn't it? She probably just stole most of his stuff and claimed it for her own. Classic woman move.
Singer-songwriters. It's 22 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. You wanted the floor to talk about Brownsburg. What's going on? You got some townie chat
Well,
stuff?
here's the. By the way, can I just say, I am on several townie chatter boards on Facebook. And some lady...
It's a wild Friday night at the Kendall house.
Some lady went on a rage about how slow the drive-thrus were in the greater Avon area. And my goodness, you have never lived until you have seen some entitled, elitist soccer mom of some sort go on a rage because the Cane's Chicken drive-thru took 10 minutes or whatever it was.
Well, I think if you're going anywhere on Rockville Road there in Avon, you just got to know it's going to take a minute. It's been under construction forever.
And here's my other, this is the total disconnect from people. Like, okay, So the government shut society down.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government, thanks to people like Todd Young, bribed our governor and Silent Suzanne, to shut the government down, shut society down.
Mm-hmm.
And Silent Suzanne and Lockdown McGee went along with Duke of Spendingburg's bribe money to pay people not to work. And then in many cases, people were making as much or more not to work than they were working. So as a result, people weren't working to not only work things like drive-thrus, but the supplies that would go to the drive-thru.
Mm-hmm.
And so people still seem amazed and unable to recognize how Silent Suzanne and Lockdown McGee and Duke of Spendingburg's bribery of people not to work
affected
society.
Yeah.
Like, are you not
their wait time?
Really? And somebody goes, well, it's rich kids whose parents pay them. Dude, there's always been rich kids with bad parents. I don't recall society, not working. The county chatter boards, while I get are a cesspool of awfulness, they are also, if you can monitor them and absorb them in the right way, one of the all-time great free entertainment venues ever.
Do you ever see anything positive on the Townie Chatter Board? It's always complaints.
Yeah, occasionally there's, the marching band got, whatever. But did you know I was once kicked off the Townie Chatter Board? True story.
That doesn't surprise
me.
me.
I was banned. This is a true story. I was banned from the Brownsburg Chatter Townie Board for when COVID first happened, and McGee said that he was going to, with Silent Suzanne's consent, because, of course, Suzanne Crouch said nothing as
I'm going to throw you in jail.
Holcomb shut the state down. Other than liquor stores, and I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Holcomb shut restaurants, et cetera, down, but liquor stores were allowed to stay open, and his good, close, personal buddy, Kyle Hupfer, who is also the state party chair's part owner in like 30 liquor stores. It's probably just a coincidence. Anyway, when the restaurants were shut down while the liquor stores got to stay open, I had the audacity to say, any restaurant that stays open during COVID, please post this here, and I would like to know I will come in and eat at your restaurant. So I was banned from a Townie Chatter Board for offering to eat at a local restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you inciting violence?
Well, I don't know what I was doing.
Was that hate speech?
Apparently offering to support local merchants is a highly egregious offense.
Did anybody post any that were open?
I don't know. I was booted.
Oh, you were? Okay.
I mean, it was like the Twitter people were monitoring it or something.
Yeah.
I was out. Real quick. Sorry, you know how we get distracted when we start talking about Holcomb shutting down society and Suzanne Crouch, who, I mean, to her credit, a week before she decided to run for governor, became a freedom fighter and is on the side of liberty and freedom, not doing anything to help when the state was shut. I get really distracted on that. Anyway, she's
very proud of the work that they've done to create jobs.
Suzanne's very proud of all the work Holcomb's done, the mask mandates, trying to put you in jail for not wearing a mask, meeting with Malik Muhammad, calling him noble, the shutting down of the state, the million people out of work, the taxes. She's very proud of that. Casey, I'm trying to stay on point here. I really need to please stop talking about Silent Suzanne and her complicit behavior in the Holcomb administration.
It's me.
Yes.
It's all me.
And point is, Thursday night, the little piggies that run the town of Brownsburg, these little piggies at the trough, are going to vote on the third reading of whether to give themselves a $5,000 raise, which is a 40% pay increase. And apparently the three members of the town council are just so exhausted by approving every warehouse and single-family home that came in front of them that they felt they're deserving of a $5,000 raise. Now, we have had some success. We have flipped one person's vote, so we need to just get one more little piggy that runs the town of Brownsburg, whether it be Ben Lacey or Travis Tishane or clueless Chris Worley, to leave the trough. And if you are inclined to want to help good government and help me, if you would feel compelled to get involved, you could send an email to these little pigs. You can even address it to the three little piggies, Ben, Travis, and Chris, and say, please remove yourself from the trough. Town council at Brownsburg.org, town council at Brownsburg.org. I promise you, if you just address in the email header the three little piggies and you put remove yourself from the trough, they will know what you're talking about. We'll get back to them. So if anybody would like to do that, town council at Brownsburg.org. That's a .org. That's not a .com. It's a .org. Just attention to the three little piggies, and then just put remove yourself from the trough. I promise you they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
How desperately do the three little piggies wish that you would move out of Brownsburg?
Here's what I'm going to send them one final letter, and here's the last line of defense that I'm going to have to these people, and I know we got to get to a break here. Here's what I'm going to tell them, Casey. I could fill this town hall with people on Thursday. We've done it before and for various topics. But I think a bigger deterrent to them giving themselves this ridiculous raise is not angry people coming and shouting at them, but rather, if you approve this, I'm going to get back involved in this town. And the last thing you want is me getting involved in this town again. And I'm going to start going to every board and commission meeting. I'm going to start bombarding the town attorney with public records requests. I'm going to start bombarding the town manager with public records requests. And I'm going to make sure that every person's life that I make incredibly difficult, if not impossible, I'm going to let them know that they can thank the three little piggies, Travis and Ben and Chris, for this incredible amount of work that they have to do. What do you think about that? Seems like a better option, right?
I think you're going to keep them busy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
Just don't let the show suffer, okay? Kendall and Casey first.
Oh, we'll get our $25,000 worth of show content out of this. No, trust me. No problem. No, absolutely.
We will. All right, it's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Well, it's a great honor. It's obviously not the reason I volunteer, but it's nice.
Meet Chuck Bouillou, retired registered nurse, volunteer at Meals on Wheels, and another Jiffy Lube Do More winner.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
Satisfying that I know that at least that day they will get a meal, maybe even 2 meals.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year. Whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site, Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
You get an oil change every couple months. It's nice.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at jiffylubeindiana.com.
PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your one and only spot for Christmas and holiday gifts this year, and I shop at PA Jewelers. Jewelry for my wife, watches for my wrist, that's what I get from PA Jewelers. They have an incredible selection of one-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces, specialty pieces. Visit PA Jewelers today to get your Christmas shopping done today. More than a kiss, visit PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg. PA Jewelers is worth the trip. 317-858-3030 or online at premierarms.com.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We've been in the same location with the same phone number for 27 years. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what in the heck do you have to lose? Call me at 317-435-1718 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-435-1718 or rragency.org. Don't let the federal government or their big insurance company cronies tell you that you don't have a choice. We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Food insecurity issues are at the center of many families' conversations. Nearly 800,000 Hoosiers and 1 in 6 children go hungry each night. Indiana's pig farmers are committed to giving back to their communities by donating millions of pounds of pork to local food banks, church pantries, and feeding programs. Pig farmers are committed to raising a safe, nutritious product that's available to the tables of families in Indiana communities. Learn more at porkcares.org. Brought to you by Indiana's pig farmers. Want to save 25 to 75% on your diamond? Come see Pierce Jewelers in Carmel before you spend your hard-earned money somewhere else. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The clock is ticking. Cloudy and in the low 40s downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Lawmakers facing a Friday deadline to fund the government and avoid a shutdown. However, it's likely a short-term extension will be needed. The Senate also needs to weigh in on the annual defense spending bill before the holidays. China is rolling back more of its strict COVID-19 measures this week.
People in China have had to use a smartphone app to trace and record their travel. It was meant to identify who visited coronavirus hotspots. From midnight tonight, Beijing time, that app will stop working. It follows an unexpected announcement last week which ended the most draconian COVID restrictions. Rare protests broke out last month over China's zero-COVID policy, and the country's economy is slowing.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Take a load off Fanny.
There it is.
Take a load for free.
Kevin and I were talking about the movie The Big Chill.
Oh, yeah.
And how it has such a great soundtrack.
Levon Helm, the band. Hot take, Levon Helm and the band did the original version of The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, which was a huge hit for Joan Baez.
You said you had a big announcement.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I totally forgot.
Let's get to that. You were all excited. How could you forget? It was like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, no, it had to be longer than that, wasn't it?
It's 11:34 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So get to it.
Well,
What do you
things
got?
move in and out of my existence, and there's so many noteworthy things, and I just can't keep track of all of them. And Kevin was playing Levon Helm, one of the great drummer/vocalists. There are not many great drummer vocalists, right? Phil Collins. Am I missing? Like, who else would come?
Kevin McNamara.
Kevin McNamara.
Yeah, that's one.
Who else would it be? Is it Phil Collins? Levon Helm?
I think the drummer from Ramones sang a couple songs.
Oh, here we go again with the Ramones. Anyway, I just got distracted because I really like the band. I think the band was a phenomenally underrated group. Once toured with Bob Dylan, etc. Point is, big moments ago. As you know, Casey, as a young boy, I had many a dream, and first and foremost was that as an adult that I would live long enough to see myself acquire. In fact, I remember being 8 years old and my dad asking me one day, "Son, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, I just hope I live long enough to see myself acquire 11,000 Twitter followers.
Congratulations!
And I'm pleased to announce that as of this moment, I have done that. And while it may be the equivalent of acquiring a modest-sized single-family home, it is my modest-sized single-family home. And, well, while it is my account, we have done this together as a collective. And so I want to thank all of the people who have made @RobMKendall a destination on Twitter.
And now what are you going to do with all of that?
Well, I'm going to use my fame and fortune for something good, Casey, and I don't really know what it is yet. Hopefully alter the outcome of an election, or something of that nature. I don't know. I mean, I want to bask in this moment. I want to enjoy it with our friends and our followers. And
it's a big deal.
It's
a big deal. You've waited a long time. You worked really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you to everyone who's participated in this.
Congratulations.
And look,
it's truly amazing.
I don't know if you know, Casey, but when I was 10 years old, my mother sat me down and said, "What would be the pinnacle for you in life?"
I thought you were 8.
Well, I was 8. That was
with your dad.
That was a life goal. But now we're talking like, my parents were always pushing me to be greater than I was. And I remember as a 10-year-old saying, I really feel like the pinnacle would be if I could acquire 12,000 Twitter followers.
There we go. There we go. All right. Good luck with that high purpose, so well befitting man.
Can I, by the way, just real quick, and I know we got a lot.
I
know we got a lot of things to get to, but can I just say one of the things I thoroughly enjoy throughout the course of our show is checking in on the people who comment in our YouTube chat.
Is that your favorite part?
Well, no, it's not my favorite part, but my favorite part is getting to spend time with you and Kevin.
Yeah.
But I will say some of the utter psychosis that comes from some people in that chat carries me throughout the rest of the day, and I feel much better about myself and my own existence. Much like the townie chatterboards, when I read our YouTube chat, there are certain people and the things they say and the things they come up with and the conspiracy theories. And throughout the rest of the day, no matter what happens, I look at myself and I go, I'm not username so-and-so. So thank you to all you people in the YouTube chat as well.
Let's talk about what's going on in that Pennsylvania school board meeting.
Speaking of crazy people.
So a school treasurer in Pennsylvania refused to vote for the, quote, only cis white male on the board to become their next president, despite admitting she believed he would do an excellent job.
Yes, this is look, we have talked a lot about, and we're going to play you this audio because it's utterly ridiculous. But if you don't think these types of people are not only existing, but are thriving in your local school boards, I absolutely promise you that if you are in a Donut County suburban school board, there is a decent chance that there is at least one person on your school board who, even if they are smart enough not to say it out loud, totally views the world the way this woman views it.
Okay, so I'm going to admit something here.
Yes.
I had to look up what cis means.
Yeah.
Because
you want to read it to us?
I'm pure and sensible and have these sensibilities that I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up.
Well, why would you know what it means?
And it's short for cisgender.
Oh, which means is that straight?
Which refers to when a person's gender identity corresponds to their sex as assigned at birth.
So like every person, right? Like you're like, or 99.999% of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're born a certain thing for a reason. That's what you are.
So why do we need a non-word? It's like a word. It's a non-word.
Well, you need a non-word because that's how, again, we talked about when liberalism has to be explained, it dies a miserable death on its face almost immediately. Well, word salad is a big part of liberalism not having to be fully explained and allowing it not to die on its face a miserable and almost immediate death. And that is why the left gets so invested in so many words and words not having meaning and being able to make words whatever you want whenever you want them to be. Did I explain that properly?
Yeah, I got it.
Listen to this lady who admits, this guy is super qualified, but he is, what'd she call him? What was it? A cis
white male.
Yeah, basically, you're a dude and you were born a dude and you admit you're a dude, so we can't have any of you even though you're qualified.
I believe that Mr. DeLeo would make an excellent president. However, I feel that electing the only cis white male on this board, president of this district, sends the wrong message to our community. A message that is contrary to what we as a board have been trying to accomplish. I think that it's important that we practice what we preach and that our words have strength when they are spoken, whether we speak them from the neighborhood sidewalks or from behind these tables.
So she has no interest in the most qualified person. Right. She has no interest in the person who will do a great job for the children. She is admitting, and again, I'm telling you, look, if you live in now, Southeastern got it together. But if you live in Carmel or Zionsville or Brownsburg or Avon, or there's a good chance your favorite suburban community school board, there is at least one person who, even if they won't say it out loud, and people are being emboldened every day to say it out loud, who agree with this woman, that the school is there to be an indoctrination factory, and the goal of the school board is to create a climate in which the kids can be indoctrinated and take away parenting and educating from the parents.
Yeah. She admitted right there. She said, I'm not going to vote for this guy based on his fitness to be elected school board president, but rather she's going to vote based on skin color, sexual orientation, or gender. You just heard it, 100% identity politics. 11:42 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Biggest stories of the day in Indy. Don Fisher, Tuesdays with Tony. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. We'll talk to you this afternoon.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
My partners had told me I should get my knee replaced. I was in my 40s, and I decided that I wouldn't do that.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog, who found regenerative medicine years ago and became a believer.
It changed my life around. It improved me to a point where I was able to jog again.
That's when Dr. Herzog switched his focus from surgery to helping his patients with natural biologics.
I've treated at least 5,000 patients. I believe your body has everything it needs to heal itself.
Today, you'll find Dr. Herzog at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting field of medicine that can give lasting pain relief with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery.
I have patients coming up to me that I did 10 years ago saying, Doc, my elbow's still working great. I'm playing tennis 3 days a week.
Call QC Kinetics now to explore alternative ways to deal with your pain. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
It's Terry Stacy, and when I hear the word free, my ears perk up a little bit. So listen to this December deal from Exercise Inc., the 20-minute once-a-week workout that will change your life. Sign up right now in December, mention WIBC, and you get 2 sessions free. Now, most people gain 5 pounds during the holidays and then spend the next 5 months trying to lose it. Don't be that person. Come to Exercise Inc. in December, and you'll get a coach who will help you get stronger, feel better, and start losing weight right now. You'll increase your metabolism, you'll feel fantastic, and enjoy the holidays a whole lot more. Don't wait until January. Give yourself a gift that truly will change your life. Exercise Inc. for all ages, no crowded gym, and you'll have a coach that's by your side during your 20-minute once-a-week workout. Exercise Inc.'s December deal at all 4 locations. Sign up now, mention WIBC, and get 2 free sessions. Visit exerciseinc.com for a location near you.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Oh, yeah, he's playing the good version. Who was it that covered this?
Joan Jett?
Yeah, Joan Jett. That's right.
Just gonna let it go. You always have your Bruce Springsteen songs. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Jennifer McCormick.
Did you hear the joy in her voice? I'm just going to let it go. Okay.
Indiana's former superintendent of public instruction, Jennifer McCormick. She's hinted at a run for governor in 24. We started off the show talking about people running for governor. How about we wrap it up the same way? So she's going to join a small field of potential Democratic contenders, none of whom, by the way, have filed their paperwork or made any formal announcements.
Yeah, so let me make sure I've got this straight because it's getting hard to keep track of all these people. And, I try to put people into little, categories or, give them little names so I remember in my own head who's running and who's not. So on the Republican side, you've got silent Suzanne Crouch, who was completely silent while Holcomb enacted all the tax increases and shut the state down and tried to put you in jail for not wearing a mask and had the VIP meet and greet with Malik Muhammad and completely silent during all that. But the good news is, in the past week, Silent Suzanne has found the strength of 10 conservatives plus 2.
Well, she said she's got a clear vision for Indiana's future.
But it's very weird because then in the same article, didn't she say she's very proud of all the things that the Holcomb administration did? So Silent Suzanne's going to have to break her silence and clarify that. So it's because but anyway, so you got Silent Suzanne, you've got billionaire Braun, you've got Eric Doden, who thinks teachers are better than everyone and should not pay any taxes. And I guess you pay more taxes so the teachers don't pay any taxes. That's the Republican side. Did I get everyone running so far?
So far.
Okay. So then on the Democrat side, you've got Jennifer McCormick. Now, she's interesting because on the surface you would say, well, she's a lunatic leftist Democrat that believes the public education system is infallible and does perfect and should totally control every facet of your kid's existence. However, what's interesting... Yes, Casey.
Wasn't she a Republican at one time?
Well, this is what gets really interesting is because in 2016, the conservative wing of the Republican Party had a conservative, rock-solid, reliable conservative candidate at the state convention that they were running for superintendent of public education. And Eric Holcomb with, I guess... Well, it wasn't Eric Holcomb at the time. It would have been Mike Pence, wouldn't it? Who was in charge of the party? I don't even remember. It's been so long ago now. Because you got to remember, that was the same year Holcomb was dead last in the U.S. Senate primary. And then magically, Mike Pence's lieutenant governor was the most qualified person in the entire state to head up Ivy Tech. And so she quit. And then Holcomb, despite being last in a three-way Senate primary and completely out of money, was the most qualified person to be lieutenant governor despite really not having a real job in his entire life. I mean, everything was running together. Anyway, the point was that at that time, there was a reliably conservative candidate for superintendent, and Kyle Hupfer and the establishment wing of the Indiana Republican Party at that convention torpedoed that woman, a deliberate act of getting involved, and propped up Jennifer McCormick. McCormick was the Holcomb, Suzanne Crouch, Kyle Hupfer pick. And what do you know? Once she got in there, she wasn't, not only was she not a conservative, she wasn't even a Republican.
Yeah, she switched parties.
So when we tell you why we are the way that we are, and I'm lumping Casey in here, and that's maybe a terrible thing to do, but why, let me rephrase that, why I am the way I am, because I don't want to punish you for being associated with me, about these Republicans, because this is who they are. There is no difference. The Republicans had an opportunity to nominate a reliable, rock-solid conservative who would have won that election against Glenda Ritz. A piece of cheese would have won that election against Glenda Ritz. And yet they chose willfully and knowingly to elect a woman who had a track record of being a leftist when she was the superintendent at Yorktown Schools. They knew who she was, and they picked her. This is why I'm totally out on 99.5% of the Republican Party, especially in the state, because this is who they are.
Okay, so you've got Silent Suzanne, you've got billionaire Braun, and you've got Eric Doden.
Yes.
Now,
who believes teachers should pay no taxes.
Right.
You, however, should pay more taxes, but the teachers none.
He has yet to have a nickname.
Right.
And on the other side, so far, we've got names like Jennifer McCormick being thrown around.
Yep.
I've also seen Tom McDermott, his name come up again. Now, this is the guy who lost to Todd Young in the Senate race.
He's the mayor who had the podcast where he was taking money for advertising from people who are doing business with the city that he runs. That's the same guy?
Yes, same guy.
Okay.
Former state rep Christina Hale.
Who lost to Victoria Spartz. Okay.
And also former U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly.
Okay.
Who lost to Mike Braun.
Right.
For the Senate seat. And now is the ambassador to the Vatican.
So our choices for governor right now, and obviously there may be more people get in, but the choices right now, you have all of the people on the Democrat side, with, I guess, the exception McCormick, but she was so bad after being nominated, they took away your right to vote on the superintendent. So I guess she didn't technically lose, even though she is a loser. She didn't technically lose, but everyone else is indeed a professional loser. Joe Donnelly, loser. Christina Hale, loser. Tom McDermott, fabulous loser of epic proportions, and it was to Todd Young of all people. How bad is that? And then so that's your Democrat pool of overachievers. And then on the Republican side, we've got the professional office buyer in Mike Braun and Silent Suzanne as the two viable candidates right now.
Now, what
a crop of people, Casey!
I'm most interested to see if it were to be a Donnelly-Braun rematch. Because Donnelly, you said he was a loser.
He did. He lost.
He did, but not by a lot. I mean, it was not like it wasn't a total throwdown.
Why would Joe Donnelly here's the real question.
It was close.
Why would Joe Donnelly want to run for governor? Why he has a cushy job as the ambassador to the Vatican.
An appointed position, maybe he's getting replaced.
Well, it could be, but unless it is, and Joe Donnelly seems like a very nice person who would not make any waves in anywhere that he ever is at any time.
Maybe he's sick of the mopeds in Rome. The high traffic going around the Vatican in a circle.
Look at the complete zeros we have to choose from. I mean, seriously, like, who of any of the people we've named on the Republican or Democrat side, given their actual voting record or complicity, is that a word? Did I just make up a word there? She was completely silent while Holcomb destroyed the state. How about that? Based on either the voting record or the complete silence while the governor was just taking a giant wrecking ball to our state economy. Who do you look at amongst the Democrat or Republican side and go, I can't wait to vote for fill in the blank?
Right. Well, maybe you need to look towards an independent. What?
Well,
they're all flipping these days.
And this is the question, is for you people who keep saying you've got to fix it in the primary, in the Republican primary, of the three candidates that I have offered to you, who would you say, boy, Rob, you really need to get behind that person because they have an incredibly strong track record of fighting for freedom, for liberty, for limited government, and for low taxes?
Out of the three, I would have to say it's going to be Mike Braun. He's got the most money to spend, and
He voted for the gas tax, Casey!
Yeah, but I know, but at least he wasn't silent like Suzanne Crouch was while Eric Holcomb, shut down the state.
He's
got some successes he can run on.
Stretching. Are your limbs hurting? Are you Gumby over there? You're the best.
Thank you, Rob. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Good job. And thank you for listening. And we're going to count on you to be back here tomorrow. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
You'll be talking to family and friends on the phone during the holidays, so make sure everyone enjoys the conversation, including those with hearing loss. RelayIndiana.com provides captioned telephones that allow the hard of hearing to have normal phone conversations through voice recognition technology. The other person's words appear on an easy-to-read screen. Don't let those with hearing loss become isolated during the holidays. Get the CapTel captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
Over the years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. You know Life Church, that's where friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith, preaches. You heard him on the program earlier today. And Life Church would love the opportunity to meet you and your family this Sunday. If you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, please consider giving Life Church an opportunity. They have locations all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to online services. Learn more at lifechurchin.com.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your